It's your fire safe response.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, Indiana Senate Republicans and talks on redistricting, what the governor is now saying, and a few dates confirmed in the Mark Sanchez case. You're listening to 93 WIBC. It's 9 o'clock.
He canceled a summit, then imposed sanctions. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, for refusing to stop attacking Ukraine.
The administration is putting sanctions on Russia's two largest oil companies. The announcement coming as President Trump scrapped plans to meet with the Russian president.
It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like we were going to get to the place we have to get, so I canceled it.
Targeting Russia's oil companies is intended to cut off access to a main revenue source for Moscow's war machine.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The European Union is also imposing sanctions on Russia. A ninth boat suspected of trafficking illegal drugs blown up by the U.S. military. 3 more alleged narco-terrorists were killed, so it's up to 37 deaths in this crackdown off the South American coast.
We know where they're headed. We know what their drop-off points are. We know what organizations they're involved in. These things are tracked very carefully.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is on his way to Israel for a 2-day visit after Vice President Vance spent 2 days there, also focused on the Gaza ceasefire still in place. We're in day 23 now of the government shutdown after another vote failed to end the standoff over funding. But one senator on the left is siding with the right.
I'm one of only 2 Democrats that's voting to keep our government open.
Senator John Fetterman also tells Fox's Hannity,
I'm a country over party guy.
Fetterman's fellow Democrats have blocked funding, demanding Republicans include numerous provisions, including one to extend Obamacare subsidies set to expire at year's end and raise the cost of coverage for millions of Americans. There is breaking sports news. An NBA player taken into custody in a gambling investigation. Terry Rozier with the Miami Heat was arrested after Rozier's team's season opener.
In connection with an FBI sports betting probe, he did not play in last night's game when the Heat took on the Orlando Magic. FBI Director Kash Patel, the Eastern District of New York, are going to be holding a press conference at 10 a.m. Eastern Time this morning.
That's Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni. Also, we've learned Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been taken into custody. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's remaining optimistic. Sunny and 39 this morning in downtown Indianapolis. A high in just the mid-50s for today. More on the weather coming up in a few minutes. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Indiana Senate Republicans say they don't have the votes yet to move forward with a special session in order to discuss redistricting. That was announced on Wednesday. Governor Mike Braun, though, told the Hammer and Nigel show on WIBC a few hours after that announcement that there's still time to get Indiana Republicans on board.
We're closer to getting there. All along I said the legislature is going to have to think about it. They're going to get persuaded.
The persuasion has come from the White House. The governor and GOP leaders have met with Vice President Vance twice and have spoke with President Trump over the phone on the matter. 2 IU students are hospitalized after a reported hazing incident on campus in Bloomington. According to campus police, it happened last Wednesday night at the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity house. The university has now issued a cease and desist order temporarily halting all frat activities. Confirming some upcoming court dates this week in the Mark Sanchez case, John Herrick reports.
At a pretrial conference, Judge James Osborne said the final pretrial conference is coming up December 2nd, and the jury trial will start 9 days later. One of Sanchez's attorneys is Edward Timothy Delaney. Here's how Delaney responded when reacting to the dates.
Thank you for allowing our client to be excused from today's hearing. He's still recovering from the injuries he sustained in the medical intervention, so that process is ongoing.
Sanchez is a former NFL quarterback who was stabbed October 4th in downtown Indianapolis by a truck driver named Perry Toll during an argument. Toll says Sanchez was the aggressor, and he is suing Sanchez. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Statewide average for gas today in Indiana, $3.15 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy. The average in Indianapolis is a little bit more at $3.17 a gallon. One of the first real chilly mornings we've had in Indiana. Some areas saw temperatures in the low to mid-30s to start. Cody Moore at the National Weather Service says much of central Indiana was put under a freeze warning.
The freeze warnings actually go down the Ohio River as well, so a good majority of the state are under freeze warnings for late tonight and into Friday morning, where temperatures are expected to fall at or below 32.
And the cold will likely stick around for the rest of this week. Rain also expected for Sunday and could continue into early next week. And the NBA season gets going tonight for the Indiana Pacers. They'll be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in an NBA Finals rematch taking on the OKC Thunder. Tip-off is at 7:30 Eastern. Matt Baer has a look at traffic.
Yeah, Jared, we are looking at a serious crash. This is Emerson Avenue over 465 on the south side. And right now, southbound lanes are closed after the 465 entrance and exit ramps right there on the bridge over 465. So southbound shut down. Northbound lanes of Emerson also affected at 465, so I'd stay clear of the entire area. Looking at southbound 65-75, the crash clear. South split still stop and go traffic to the north split, and a crash coming southbound 65 to southbound 65-70 through portion. That is a crash in the north split. You can still make your exit. Traffic sponsored by Moderna. If you've heard about mNEXSpike COVID-19 vaccine, mRNA by Moderna, good news, it's available. Head to mnexspike.com to find it near you. That's mnexspike.com. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Jim Scott is based in Clinton County, but they're now serving a larger area.
Boone County and Hamilton County, there are just not enough HVAC contractors in those areas to handle the demand. So we can offer a value for them because of our 5-star rating, family-owned, quality.
On the north side, just go to jimsheating-air.com for Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Are you ready to put joint pain behind you and get to a place where persistent pain doesn't control your life? The dedicated orthopedic experts at Community Health Network are here to turn those goals into a reality. With personalized treatment options that include robotic-assisted surgery, we'll help you feel your best so you can get back to enjoying your hobbies again. Learn more about your care options at ecommunity.com/ortho. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or drexelin.com today.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Looks like we're going to have mostly sunny skies throughout the day. High temperature in the upper 50s and a breeze, which will make things a little chilly towards the afternoon. Clear skies with possible frost overnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renard Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey starts now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, Casey.
Yeah, Rob.
I hate to do it.
What?
In fact, it goes against every real instinct I've ever had. But you got to give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
9:07. October the 23rd, 2025. We got to give Rod Bray, the leader of the Indiana Senate, some credit. He did the right thing, or at least he says they're doing the right thing in the face of immense political pressure.
The votes aren't there for redistricting.
Now, got to remember that in Indiana politics, nothing's over until it's over, and then even then it's not really over. But yes, as of right now, the leader of the Senate, Rod Bray, he's a Republican from Martinsville, through a statement came out yesterday and said despite months of intense pressure from the White House, that they still lack the votes necessary to move forward with a redistricting, proposed redistricting.
So we're talking about limited government and states' rights this morning?
Well, this is what's fascinating. So you've got 40 Republicans in the Senate.
That was sarcasm, by
Yes,
the way.
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You got 40 Republicans in the Senate, 10 Democrats. So you can take the Democrats out of the equation. You're not getting any of those 10 votes. You've got to get to 25, and then Braun's lackey Micah will do whatever Braun says because Micah's totally compromised now and is just totally subservient to Braun. And so Micah would cast the tie-breaking vote and so you have to get to 25 votes, which means they have to get 25 of 40 Republicans, which while that's a majority, it's not a, overwhelming majority. It's not like we got to get all of them but one. And they clearly can't do that after months of intense political pressure, which comes to what we have been saying on this show for months now. And the Republicans, the Republican activist people, either are in such I mean, I think they are in such denial over it. I think that's what it is, which is this is not an issue that drives regular people. This is not an issue that causes people to call their senator and in the district, right? There's a reason when you call a right, they say name and address, please. If, as we found out during the property tax deal, if you don't live in the district, don't matter. It is ignored in the order in which it's received because you can't vote for or against the person. And so they're not hearing from people that they really want this. And the people they are hearing from, it's negative.
The people who don't want it.
And so what you have, and the reason, and this is the bigger part, the reason people aren't fired up about this, the reason people aren't passionate about it, the reason people don't want it is because the Republicans offer them nothing. They vote Republican because the Democrats are so bad, but they're not excited about having more of you. And so for all of these people, these internet influencers, what's the guy's name from Pennsylvania?
Scott Pressler.
Scott Pressler. The Scott Presslers of the world is like, I'm going to come and knock on doors against every one of these people.
Well, he's talking about primarying people who don't go for redistricting.
Yeah, and to that I say, good luck, because one, these senators are all over the state. So unless you're going to get a gajillion dollars to help you hit these people all over the state, and don't you have other states with actual elections next year to elect Republicans in swing states?
Yeah, he's still working in Pennsylvania. He's also working in New Jersey.
Right. You can't be everywhere at once. You're not going to be all over the state. And what are you going to say to people when you knock on the door? Is this the exercise? Yes. Hello, Mr. Smith. You really need to vote against the senator who did what the overwhelming majority of their constituents wanted. How does that conversation even go? This is where they're misreading the tea leaves. The public is not in favor of this, so the threats fall on deaf ears. There is no threat to these people because they're doing, outside of the hardcore, all Republican all the time people, they're doing what the majority of their constituents want.
Okay, but Governor Braun came out yesterday, a little after 1 o'clock, and he said, I'm still having positive conversations with members of the legislature. I'm confident the majority of Indiana State House Republicans will support efforts to ensure fair representation in Congress for every Hoosier.
Yeah, there already is fair representation in Congress. And don't forget, the Republicans did this to themselves. These people are the biggest bunch of hypocrites. They have repeatedly made Marion County, District 7, less competitive to save other representatives. Marion County, while it was never like hardcore, hey, it's a toss-up, there used to be a chance we would always hear, I remember growing, okay, this person's running into blah, blah, blah. It is a Democrat district. Obviously, it's been Democrat for generations. But they have made it so uncompetitive, and they've done that to save other representatives, most recently Victoria Sparks in the 5th Congressional District. They've done this to themselves, and then they cry about the way the maps are that they have drawn. Two things that are at play here, and I think these are very important. Number one is that there's no benefit to do this because of what we've just laid out. The majority of people are against it. Clearly, if they had a poll, they've done their own internal polling. There's nothing they can produce that show that it's different from what these other external public polls have shown. That's the first part of it. So there's no incentive. The second part, and I wouldn't underscore this, I'm not sure they think they can draw the maps to where they're slam dunks.
Are you talking about Lake County?
I'm talking about there's obviously two districts they'd have to deal with. One is Marion County. Now, if they call the special session and they don't address Marion County, there's a bunch of people who are going to be outraged who are on the team are like 9-0 or nothing. You've seen the post, right? 9-0 or nothing. That Marion County thing is such a firestorm, one, because of the lawsuits, but two, then you start really disrupting these other districts, and within 4 to 6 years, you could see them potentially become blue because you're infusing all these Democrats in. They don't want to do that. The second part of it is they're not sure they can draw that 1st congressional district with Lake County to be a guaranteed Republican win, especially if you have a whole bunch of Democrats, angry, pissed off people showing up to vote in a midterm election. And I think Bray is just like, I don't get any benefit out of this. I already get to do whatever I want, whenever I want. There's no Democrat opposition. We steamroll everything through that we want to do. Why would I potentially risk losing seats,
his job,
over a bunch of people in Washington, D.C. who wouldn't know me from Adam?
Okay, so you had mentioned the polls. There's multiple polls. We've talked about the ones that were reported in Indiana Capital Chronicle. Also, Indy Star had them. But there's also this dial-in poll that was conducted by the White House. And those two polls are different. Or actually, there's like 4 polls. All of the local ones said people are against it. But this one that was conducted by the White House, reported from Politico, they said that they were in support of it.
Well, that was the senators, though.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the public. Now, the problem was, in that same, and by the way, Adam Wren from Politico, who broke the story, will be with us at 11 o'clock today. The problem with that is, and this is the most government thing ever, apparently the way they were doing it was so complex that people didn't even know how they were voting or didn't even feel like they voted accurately in reports on the story. So the point of all this is Braun now is going to be exposed because this may shock you, Casey. He sometimes has a little problem with the truth or following through on things that he has promised the constituents, like, fight.
Right.
Now, Braun has said repeatedly, hey, if the General Assembly wants to do it, I'll do it. If not, there's no point in us doing it. But he, on Hammer and Nigel and these other statements, he sounded like Mr. Billy Badass yesterday, despite being told clearly by Bray's office there are not the votes for this, that he's not giving up. Now, think about that for a second, and this will put on full display for everyone why people don't give a damn about this nor want more Republicans. So Braun said during property taxes that there's no point in calling a special session because the General Assembly doesn't want it. And there's no point in calling a special session for something to fail. And he packed up his bag and he went home. Mm-hmm. But on redistricting, when clearly the leader of the Senate is saying, we don't have the votes, they don't want it.
Braun's saying, no, we're going to call a special session.
And this right here, and this is what the Republicans can't get through their thick, dense skulls. This is why people don't want this. They don't like you. They don't trust you. They loathe you. They're forced to vote for you because the Democrats can't get out of their own way and put normal people with normal policies forward. But this right here, in which Braun will go to the mat for this stupid redistricting, but won't lift a damn finger to fight for us on things that affect people's everyday lives.
That's it.
All right, Ryan Hedrick is going to be with us next from the WIBC newsroom. There was another hearing on the Mark Sanchez case yesterday. Some interesting things came out of that. He'll get us up to date.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Holy cow! Another beautiful play for Indiana. A new coach, a new team, a new energy in Bloomington.
You're going to see a bunch of guys that are all about winning. They play incredibly hard.
Coach Darren DeVries is ready to write the next chapter in Hoosier basketball.
We love what I think the fans are going to be able to see in terms of how we approach every game.
IU basketball is back, and it starts now against Baylor Sunday at 1 on the home of the Hoosiers, 93 WIBC.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMike'sHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
It's the strongest hearts that remind us to cherish the moments. It's the grandmas who made us sit up straighter, the grandpas who showed us old records, and the parents who were embarrassingly loud at our games. It's those hearts that are anything but ordinary. Caring for extraordinary hearts for decades, Franciscan Health knows heart care is more than just a name on a chart. It's somebody who shaped your whole life. Heal your heart today at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
All right, so we've got some updates in the Mark Sanchez case. There was a hearing yesterday. Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC Newsroom joins us now. Ryan Hedrick, hello.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
So what did we learn yesterday? What happened?
Well, we learned that the attorneys believe that Sanchez is too injured to have a jury trial or even a pretrial hearing in December. So the pretrial hearing is scheduled for December 2nd. I believe, and the jury trial is scheduled for December 11th.
Wait. He's too injured.
He's too injured. He's recovering from being stabbed by the grease truck driver, Perry Toll.
But we saw him on that video that surfaced. I think it was Fox 59.
Yes.
Caught up with them.
Mm-hmm.
He clearly appeared to be walking under his own power. He was giving something resembled a statement to the Fox 59 people. That was a week or a week and a half ago. He seemed pretty okay then, but he can't go to court.
It was a 2.5 minute hearing. I watched the whole thing streamed. It was real quick, a lot of legal jargon. And after the doors swung open, the reporters were waiting in the lobby, and Dan Shakini with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office was questioned about the proceedings. And then Russ McQuaid asked him about the injuries, and he said that the December date is unlikely.
Well, and I think we'd kind of said from the beginning that would seem relatively quick to actually have the trial. But, I mean, there's all this stuff that they got to go through to even get to the trial, and they're not even going to broach that for quite some time now.
I still don't think we see Mark Sanchez in an Indianapolis courtroom. I think the way things shake out, he will, behind the scenes, negotiate. I've said this a lot for a couple of weeks on your show now. I think addiction will be the center of his argument. I think he will argue that he's addicted to drugs or alcohol or some type of vice, which will give him an out in this egregious behavior that the affidavit says was responsible for him fighting this 69-year-old man.
Do you think because it's a high-profile case, and obviously the Marion County prosecutor, Ryan Mears, he's allegedly got other political aspirations, that might change things a little bit from what they otherwise might be? Like if it were Mark Smith instead of Mark Sanchez.
So you're saying maybe Ryan Mears will just take this all the way and say, I am abandoning all other methods of prosecution in favor of a more... So you're basically saying that Mark Sanchez is going to be the victim of Ryan Mears' political agenda.
I'm simply asking. I'm saying, your rank and file violent offender seems to get some somewhat decent treatment in the justice system. But we talked about this too. I think everybody's in play with this. The judges, the prosecutor, the mayor's office. I think they're all in play on this. But I do wonder if, because it is so high profile, that maybe we'll see a little different tactic from the prosecution in Marion County than we normally do.
So it would behoove Ryan Mears to prosecute Mark Sanchez to the fullest extent of the law on this felony, on the single felony charge, because then Republicans couldn't use the talking point that he's just kicking people out and giving them lighter sentences. He could point to this and everybody would be distracted by this. I see the logic. I still think that he would be hard-pressed to do that if Mark Sanchez says, I have an addiction problem. If his attorneys are listening, this is the best case scenario out of this trouble that Mark Sanchez is in. Just raise your hand and say, I'm an addict, I'm an alcoholic, and the alcohol made me do this. And I think the Marion County Prosecutor's Office would have to, at that point, plead down these charges.
2.5 minutes, typical? That seems very short.
Yeah, I think so. If you have a paid attorney, so I remember being in legal trouble for a drug possession I was in 15 years ago, and I had a public defender, and this public defender said we have to wait for all the private attorneys to go first because they get first priority with the judge, and these cases would be, and I think back to these cases, and these cases were, okay, we'll see you like in 2 weeks, but when it came to my case, with the public defender, it seemed like it lasted for an hour. So, yeah, these private attorneys have these deals with these judges because they have relationships with these people. They see them on the golf course. They see them at the bar. They see them at court gatherings outside the courtroom. So, yeah, they definitely get preferential treatment.
So Sanchez, he remains free on bond. He's been permitted by the court to return home to California. He will have to come back in December, though.
Maybe. I mean, that's still being negotiated. I think what Dan Cicchini said after the court let out and he spoke to the media, he said, we'll see. I don't think the December date is likely. That's exactly what he said. So those dates are up in the air. I still don't think Sanchez ever touches down in Indianapolis court. And I checked my case today just to make sure. And the jury trial is still set for December 11th. The pretrial is set for December 2nd.
One thing before I let you go, Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC Newsroom is our guest. The photos of the victim became public. Him in the hospital. They appear to be so horrendous.
Yeah.
You know, the stabbing of his face. I kind of like. Does this make me morbid that I was like, if that happened more often, people might tolerate these very violent offenders getting just released back into society less? Like, I mean, we all saw that and we're like, wow, this is pretty vicious on this dude.
You mean the victims' photos if they were released
I know
more?
that sounds horrible to say, but would that be the deterrent? Because I think that's what sticks in everybody's mind is, look at what this Sanchez allegedly did to this guy. Oh my gosh, it looks horrible. What if that was with everybody?
No, I don't think that's the case, Rob, because look at Charlie Kirk. That video, we saw him being assassinated at Utah Valley University. And did that stop any politicians? Maybe a day or so, maybe 2 or 3 days, but that did not stop people from using political rhetoric to kind of fan the flames of political violence. We see these photos all the time. The only reason that Perry Toll's attorneys, in my opinion, dropped these photos is to tug at the heartstrings and get their case, embolden
get the
their
charges elevated.
Yeah,
and it also probably helps with the civil lawsuit,
of course,
as well, right?
Of course it does. And I'm not saying that Perry Toll is not injured, but propping him up in a neck brace and maybe putting some, I'm not saying this happened, but you know, in cases where this has happened, I know people that have kind of made the injuries more stand out, put Vaseline on the sores and make them glisten, you know, in the photos. I don't know. Stuff happens like that.
All right. Where can people find you in addition to your fabulous Supporting Sobriety podcast?
At Sure to Cover on X and at TikTok at Sure to Cover #2.
All right. We've got Carrie Hamilton who's going to join us next.
Yes, Democrat state representative. She will give us the latest on what she's hearing from inside the State House about redistricting. Do Republicans have the votes? Don't they have the votes? And will we see a special session?
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us, 317-563-0868, or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strict.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus, get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. If you're living with a chronic condition like diabetes, chronic heart failure, or a cardiovascular disorder, you might count on extra support with your health care too. That's why United Healthcare offers chronic special needs plans with extra benefits and a large provider network to choose from. Visit uhc.com/Medicare to find out if you qualify today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on. Provider network may vary in local market.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Relief in Gaza. Sunny and 41 in Indianapolis. The high today around 56. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 9:30. The International Court of Justice ruling on Wednesday that Israel must allow the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, or UNRWA, to provide humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Shosh Bedrosian, the Israeli Prime Minister spokesperson, argues that despite claims Israel has been sending abundant aid to Gaza daily.
Hundreds of trucks are flowing into the Gaza Strip through the Kerem Shalom crossing and crossing 147 every single day.
Bedrosian also calls UNRWA irrelevant, saying none of their aid has entered the Gaza Strip since January. The national debt hitting a new milestone, as seen in the latest Treasury Department report. Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
The U.S. is now more than $38 trillion in debt, the fastest accumulation of $1 trillion in debt outside of the COVID pandemic. The Trump administration arguing its policies to shrink government and cut spending are lowering the nation's deficit. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the total deficit of $468 billion from April to September is the lowest reading since 2019. But Democrats believe the recent tax cuts passed in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act will only fuel the national debt. Experts believe increasing debt will lead to higher inflation.
And the Trump administration also says it's looking into lowering beef prices while providing about $3 billion in aid to U.S. farmers, all part of a broader agricultural support effort. The opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is down 80 points, 46,590. The S&P 500 also down 3 points, 6,699. And the NASDAQ in the red, 46 points to 24,879. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Save plenty this spooky season with Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 plus 15% off dryer vent and duct cleaning too. ZeroResIndy.com.
Thinning hair? This year, grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Right now, you can buy with 0 down. Choose from over 2,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. We'll pay top dollar for your trade. Bring Hubler your old car for an immediate appraisal. 0 down delivers. And Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 convenient locations.
Cover me.
Select models, approved credit. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Go down to the river and into
Casey, you may have heard yesterday, there was a big announcement on redistricting.
Yes. Apparently, they don't have the votes. That's what was reported.
Yeah, so let's get the latest on what's going on from some eyes and ears inside the State House. And from the other side, friend of the show, Carrie Hamilton. She's a Democrat representative of Indianapolis, joins us now. Carrie, hello.
Hello, Kendall Casey. Great to be with you.
All right. So were you surprised that this announcement came out from essentially the office of Senate Pro Tem Rod Bray yesterday that they don't have the votes?
You know, we've been hearing for a while rumors that the Senate Republicans didn't have the votes, but yes, I was surprised. There's been a huge pressure campaign from the White House, and so it seems like that will win eventually, and it still may. But that was a pretty strong statement yesterday coming directly from their office, no longer rumors.
Do you believe it's over? Because this is what Casey and I talked about earlier, is that it's sort of like Animal House. Nothing's over until we decide it is. Braun is still talking about the special session. Do you think this announcement puts it to bed, or do you still feel like, they're still going to have this special session?
Well, I wish I believed it was over, but I don't. I think there's still going to be more pressure, and we'll see what that results in. I hope it's over. I think this is a moment where Senate Republicans are standing with their constituents. We know that a majority of Hoosiers don't support this, undemocratic, dangerous proposal, and they're standing with them, despite major threats that they could lose their office with primary challenges coming with White House support.
Do you feel like this message came out in a way to get people on the record of where they stand with this?
Possibly. Now, they didn't name the 16 members that are in opposition to the proposal, but I think it's a starting point for that, sure.
Carrie Hamilton is our guest. She's Democrat state representative. We're talking about the big announcement yesterday on redistricting from the Senate boss, Rod Bray, his office, that they don't have the votes to move forward. So let's talk about for a second, you touched on this, a lot of these internet influencers, conservative activists said, well, we're going to primary these people. We're going to challenge these people. And I said, look, all that matters to local elected officials for the most part is what their actual constituents thing, and unless they're hearing from them en masse, they're not going to move. Have you heard from any of your Republican colleagues, whether they're for it or not, saying, I'm hearing from so many people that they really want this?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, I have heard from several of my Republican colleagues that they are hearing from their voters. They've told me firsthand that their voters don't want this. And I think they know that those voters will stand with them moving forward if they do the right thing here, which is not call a special session. There's so many more important things we should be talking about right now. And this has sucked up the energy in the room for about 3 months that legislative energy has been focused on this issue and not on solving problems for Hoosier families, on making quality of life better, and obviously cost of living issues that we need to be addressing, like utility bills and healthcare costs and housing costs. Those are the things we should be focused on.
Does this outside pressure from these conservative influencers who don't even live in Indiana, does that work, the threat of being primaried?
We'll see. This is kind of a new era. I mean, this has been happening for a few years, but this is the first time we've seen it to this extent in our state. I certainly hope not. We'll see.
Carrie Hamilton, Democrat state rep, Indianapolis, is our guest. Couple minutes left with her, talking about the big announcement yesterday that from the Senate boss, Rod Bray, his office, that the votes are not there for redistricting. So do you believe that the governor, because, look, this will shock you, Carrie, and in case this will shock you too, the governor sometimes has trouble keeping track of what he said before and then is in direct contrast. He has said the whole time, well, it's up to the Senate and the House. If they want it, I'll do it. If not, no. Well, yesterday seemed to be a pretty definitive where they're at, and yet he was still talking about a special session on this radio station yesterday. Do you believe he'll call the special session even if they don't publicly get to the votes?
It's an interesting question. He's kind of in a bind, right? I don't know what he's going to do. I cannot pretend to predict his actions.
Is there part of you politically, and you and I are in agreement on this, that it'd be bad for Indiana and the Republicans want to win elections, win it by governing, But politically, it sort of probably would have been a win for you guys if this goes forward, right? Because it would have made a lot of people mad, and that would have been more motivated to you guys. Just from a purely political perspective, might have been good for the Democrats to have this go forward.
Well, I mean, I do think it gives us a little energy boost because people will be frustrated. But, it's important to remember what we're talking about here, and that is disenfranchising solid 40%, if not a little more, of Hoosiers, completely cutting them out of congressional representation. And I think regardless of political party, most Hoosiers think that that's bad. There's the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the idea that it makes sense to say 40% in our country, in our great country, to take representation away from 40% of our state, that's just not the Hoosier thing to do.
Have you heard anything, the scuttlebutt in the State House? I maintain one of their concerns maybe they can't draw the maps enough to guarantee Republican seats. Have you heard that?
I've seen a couple different versions with some numbers attached that look like maybe they can, maybe they can't. Until we see what they actually propose, it's really hard to know. I don't know the answer to that, Rob.
Okay, before we let you go, betting on politics, not legal in this country. It is legal on this show. If you had to bet, will there be a special session on redistricting?
If I had to bet, I'd still say yes.
Okay, very good. Carrie Hamilton, Democrat State Representative, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy. Rob Kendall off the rails. Eddie White of the Pacers. And I'm sure we'll make Allison uncomfortable.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Are you ready to put joint pain behind you and get to a place where persistent pain doesn't control your life? The dedicated orthopedic experts at Community Health Network are here to turn those goals into a reality. With personalized treatment options that include robotic-assisted surgery, we'll help you feel your best so you can get back to enjoying your hobbies again. Learn more about your care options at ecommunity.com/ortho. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
Press 1 for balances. Press 2 for deposits. Press 3 to scream into the void.
We get it. These days, it's all phone menus and chatbots. But business banking doesn't have to be that way. Bank with Horizon and discover the power of real AI, advisor intelligence. Real people who answer calls, know your business, and go above and beyond to help you succeed. Get started today at horizonbank.com/businessai. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Forget digging through clutter to find what matters. The WIBC Daily Newsletter puts the biggest local stories and exclusive show moments in your inbox and lets you skip the scroll. Sign up by clicking Connect at WIBC.com.
Okay. You're the pop culture person on this show, the lifestyle person.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all you. Who is this Bad Bunny person, and why are people so angry that he's the halftime show guy at the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I think conservatives are angry because he has been very critical of Donald Trump.
Okay.
And they don't like that.
So who are they going to get to play the halftime show? Who's a country guy? Some Trace Adkins? I mean, who are they going to get to play at the Super Bowl?
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, I was good.
Luke Combs.
Well,
one of the Lukes.
Let's face it. The halftime show at the Super Bowl took a turn, when they got in with Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
They had it's the pendulum of our society is so bizarre, isn't it? Remember when the Janet Jackson thing happened?
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay, so you saw a part of a woman's breast for 3 seconds. Was humanity really
wardrobe malfunction
harmed by that? No. But then there was this massive course correction. Remember radio, how songs that had profanity in them that had been played for years, like The Who's Who Are You?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously there's a naughty word at the end of that song, but it had been on terrestrial radio for 30 years with that line in this, and there was mass panic. I go look all the songs to blah, blah, blah. So then the Super Bowl then course corrects where, okay, only old-timey artists now. It was the Rolling Stones. It was they have a Motown thing. They had Tom Petty, Prince, Springsteen, The Who.
Mm-hmm.
The shows were really good. And then for some reason, 5 years ago, they're we want to alienate any person over 55 years old, and we totally don't want them watching our halftime show anymore. And they've just had all of these Jay-Z affiliated people. And it's bizarre. How can't we find somebody where the porridge is just right?
Isn't that the point, though, of the halftime show? Because if you're watching the Super Bowl, you're there for the football and the game. And what the halftime show will do is bring in people who aren't there for the football.
Will it? Is there a slew of people that are I wasn't going to watch the most watched event in the country every year, but this Bad Bunny guy's playing, so sign me up for that. I'm not trying to be facetious. Is that a thing?
Potentially. I mean, they're trying to expand their audience, right?
But you totally alienate. If I'm a sponsor, is it still Pepsi? Is Pepsi still the sponsor of the halftime show? I thought that's why they couldn't get Taylor Swift, because she was with Coke.
She's a Coke.
I thought that was or it was Coke. Yeah, right. Whatever. If you're the sponsor and you're paying $1 gajillion, do you really want to be involved in something where a massive portion of your audience is simply not going to engage for the 15 minutes or whatever it is that person's on stage?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's huge portions of the populace that are not going to watch any of this. And as a sponsor, wouldn't you want as many people as possible to see your information?
Yes, I think they would. But Roger Goodell, during the, it was the coaches or the NFL owners meeting.
He is the NFL commissioner.
Right. He came out and he said NFL is not going to drop Bad Bunny as the halftime performer.
Decision to choose Bad Bunny as your Super Bowl halftime performer?
He's one of the leading and most popular entertainers in the world. That's what we try to achieve. It's an important stage for us. It's an important element to the entertainment value. It's carefully thought through. I would say that I'm not sure we've ever selected an artist where we didn't have some blowback or criticism. It's pretty hard to do it when you have literally hundreds of millions of people that are watching. But we're confident it's going to be a great show, and that
okay.
He understands.
So
if you had him up to one of those things where he got zapped when he's lying, it just could be going bzzz.
The whole time.
Who was angry that Paul McCartney played the halftime show? What blowback did they get when Paul McCartney or Tom Petty were playing the halftime show? Who was like, oh no, absolutely not? Show me the people that were protesting in the streets over Paul McCartney or Tom Petty.
So Bad Bunny is expected to perform the entire halftime show in Spanish. And like I said, I think the idea here is to bring in a whole new base of consumers.
And look, the NFL is a money-making corporation. I mean, they must just have giant printing presses in their New York offices, because that's what they do. Look, the NFL is a business. The only people that the NFL is not a business to, or sports in general, is to the people who go to the games. Everybody else, business. Players, business. Owners, business. People who work for them, business. The only thing it's not a business to is the people who go to the games, who engage with the teams, still under some sort of delusion that it's about the fans. No, it's about the money the fans spend. So the NFL is going to do whatever they think will make them money. And clearly they've made a conscientious choice that, yes, we're going to alienate huge portions of our fan base, but we believe the untapped market that this will open is worth the people we're going to piss off.
Correct. Goodell went on to say that Bad Bunny understands the platform, and he said the performance is going to be exciting and a united moment. And
Uniting who?
He said additional artists may be added to the lineup
He's
later.
singing in a foreign language. Who you wouldn't even be able to understand him. What's he saying? Is this good? Don't know. Don't know what he's saying.
Well, he said that they're trying to reach a global audience. Aha, there it is.
Well, Kev, and well, before I come to Kev, I mean, that's the new NFL MO. They believe that that's why they play the game in Brazil. That's why they play those games in Germany and in London. And they believe that they can get into these
other countries,
worldwide market and make this game global. Their ultimate goal is to have a team located in a foreign country. Now, I think they're still a ways away from being able to pull that off. But, yeah, I mean, now, Kev, have you ever heard of this clown?
Yeah, I've heard of him. I haven't listened to him a lot.
Yeah.
But, I actually kind of enjoy it.
Who is listening to him? Who are the people? Like, what's the audience? Like, if you were to tell me Taylor Swift, I could tell you the audience. Normally, there's a target audience for
probably
people.
18 to 34-year-olds.
But I mean, what, like people that are offended by their parents, or people that feel they got a hard shake in life, or people that got left by their girlfriend? Like, who is the target of
I think
this
it's
guy?
like club goers.
Oh.
Probably people in their 20s who like going to the club
Right.
and, partying.
Okay. Very good.
So some of the other topics that they discussed at the NFL owners meeting was the quarterback sneak.
The tush push.
Tush
yes.
push, yeah. Also game timing and replay reviews, 18-game season collective bargaining, and also future Super Bowl sites. They're finalizing the locations for 28 and 29.
Are we in the running so we can get some more of that money back that we've spent as taxpayers
That'd be nice.
on the Lucas Oil Stadium?
Many
Any
people
mention of
often
us?
say that Indianapolis was one of the best places because we're such a walkable
It was
city.
so good they haven't come back in 13 years. Very good.
Top of the top most popular Super Bowl halftime shows by viewership.
Oh, by viewership. Okay, so this
By
is different.
viewership.
Because I think the most iconic is Michael Jackson, right?
It's in the top.
Yeah, but there were fewer people in the country. There were fewer people watching.
Prince with the rain coming down.
I would have guessed Prince would be by viewership's
by viewership.
misleading because the country. Prince was what 2008, 7? No, he was the one with the Bears and the Colts. That'd be 2007. There's infinitely more people in the country now than there were then.
And there's more people watching the Super Bowl. It grows every year.
I would say by viewership. Dang. I don't know. That's because I don't know.
You don't have to look back very far.
Yeah, I was going to say
Rob.
The problem is I don't.
It was
like,
last year.
Yeah.
Kendall Lamar.
Yeah, I was going to say the Eminem did it 1 year, but I don't watch it anymore, so I don't know all the people.
That is interesting though, because number one was last year. Kendrick Lamar with 100.
Is he a rapper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a rapper. Okay.
Yeah,
They're all rappers now,
133
right?
million
Pretty much.
viewers. And then in the second spot was Michael Jackson in 1993.
That's amazing that this is the power of Michael Jackson. Yes, total weirdo. Who knows what the guy actually did? Not a guy you should leave your children around, right? Okay, we get all that. But in terms of actual talent and drawing power, and I think part of Michael Jackson's drawing power, Casey, you're seasoned enough to remember Michael Jackson in his prime, was the enigma of him. Like there's something, our society is drawn to people that they don't know it all about. And with Michael, the mystery, right? And with Michael Jackson, there was something about him which no matter what came out, you always felt like there was something that you didn't know. And the idea of Michael Jackson was bigger than Michael Jackson himself. And that is amazing. And the best example I can give you, that 32 years ago, there were more people watching Michael Jackson than at any other point in Super Bowl halftime show history other than the guy last year.
Yeah, right.
That's amazing.
And the list goes Usher, Rihanna, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Coldplay, Bruno Mars, Madonna, and then that group that had Dr. Dre and Snoop
So
Dogg and
basically,
Eminem.
we've worked backwards, right? I mean, this makes sense. More people every year tune in the National Football League. Now, it will be interesting this year because I think there will be a huge group of people. A lot of times people will just leave it on even if they're not paying attention. I think there'll be a bunch of protest people that won't even leave it on this year, and we'll see what comes of that.
Well, you've heard Turning Point USA is saying that they're going to put on a competing show.
Okay, and by the way, can we talk about Turning Point USA for a second and this halftime show?
Sure.
I don't think Adam Sandler is actually playing the halftime show for Turning Point USA. I think these are fake things that people are putting up online, making these pronunciations of all these high-profile people who are allegedly going to play the Turning Point USA halftime show. I don't think any of that is actually real. I think it's artificial intelligence, and some people are getting snookered into thinking that these things are going on.
Well, is it going to be broadcast? That's the thing.
Well, somebody will probably pick it up.
It's just going to be streamed
There is
somewhere.
this thing called the internet.
Yeah, well, that's
which is
what
very
I'm wondering.
popular.
Is it going to be broadcast or is it going to be streamed somewhere?
I don't know, but I just felt bad that some people are like, did you hear who's playing the Turning Point USA halftime show? And at this point, there's like 9 people that they've done this with. And I'm like, that would be the greatest assemblage of talent of all time. Even the National Football League isn't pulling this off. So please, if you see these announcements, verify that they're accurate.
Yeah, well, Danica Patrick, she said, what, she's putting up $7 million or something?
Where does she get $7 million from?
From her career as a race driver.
She didn't make that much driving a race car. She only won one time. Where'd she get $7 million from?
Sponsorships?
Well, maybe that's
She's
the
been
case.
a spokesperson for different products?
Probably because of what a great race car driver she was. Yeah.
Do you see Coca-Cola now will begin releasing a new version of its...
There's new Coke?
New Coke. It's going to have cane sugar in it.
Didn't we try this before in the 80s?
Didn't
they do new Coke?
It's not. It's the same Coke.
And it failed miserably?
It's just going to have cane sugar in it.
Oh.
This from pressure from Donald Trump and the Make America Healthy
I'm fairly
Again.
certain there was a new Coke in the 80s and it failed miserably.
Coca-Cola is still the #1 soda, although
it's very expensive.
The overall desire for cola beverages is still soft.
What are we doing next? Is this the guy?
Yeah, this is Bad Bunny.
I don't have any idea what he's saying.
Hey, it's day 23. Government's still shut down. We'll address it coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
What is he saying?
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
It's opening night, presented by Kroger with your Indiana Pacers.
2 to shoot. Oh, my goodness! What is happening here?
Oh, my.
A 3 from the left side. It's 75 to 37.
It's a rematch of the NBA Finals when your blue and gold meet the Thunder Thursday at 7:30. Join us pregame for a party on the plaza. Score your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Thunder, Thursday at 7:30.
Central Indiana knows tough, but your water shouldn't be. Indiana ranks among the hardest water in the country, and your home is paying the price. Connecticut's non-electric technology means no timer, settings, or headaches. Just water that works, even when the power doesn't. And the twin tank design means clean, soft water 24/7. Connecticut water softeners are the solution, made in the U.S. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com and mention Made in the U.S. for an additional $250 off your purchase of a softener. Connecticut, American-made, Midwest tough.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios. How the governor is reacting to news out of the Indiana Senate and what came out of a Wednesday hearing in the Mark Sanchez case. You're listening to 93 WIBC.
A basketball player and an NBA coach have to go to a different court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups.
They're among a few dozen people arrested so far in a federal gambling investigation. Rozier plays for the Miami Heat. He's under scrutiny over sports betting, but in the case against Billups, who was a Hall of Fame player, now coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Fox's Nate Foy reports.
He is allegedly involved in a poker scheme with the American-Italian Mafia. And then Damon Jones is a former NBA player and coach as well, arrested. And this is all related to the same investigation that ultimately landed a lifetime ban for Jonte Porter, a former player for the Toronto Raptors, who admitted to altering his performance in games so that other people could make money off of prop bets.
We're awaiting a news conference any minute from FBI Director Kash Patel. On day 23 of the government shutdown, the Senate's planning a different vote amid a standoff over funding. Republican leader John Thune tells Fox.
Anybody who's currently working and not getting paid would get paid under this proposal. The Democrats are going to try and counter it with a political gimmick, which would pay federal employees once, but then continue the shutdown.
Democrats have blocked new funding that would end that shutdown, demanding health care provisions be attached to spending. The European Union has joined the U.S. imposing new sanctions on Russia for the war in Ukraine. President Trump putting financial penalties on Russia's two biggest oil companies after canceling his planned second summit with Russia's leader.
It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like we were going to get to the place we have to get, so I canceled it.
The president's also defending U.S. military strikes on boats off the South American coast suspected of illegal drug trafficking.
We're allowed to do it. It's in international waters.
Trump critics question whether the attacks are legal. The latest boat blown up was Tuesday night. There have been 9 in all, killing 37 people that the war secretary calls narco-terrorists. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's trying to get all Republicans on board. You've got a sunny sky. It's 43 in downtown Indy. The high today at about 56. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. In an announcement made Wednesday by a spokesperson for Senate President Pro Temp Roderick Bray, Indiana GOP senators say they don't have the votes to call for a special session on redistricting. Indiana Governor Mike Braun says he's not unhappy with the Senate, although he wants Republicans to do what he sees as evening the playing field against other states, mainly Democratic-leaning ones, who have redrawn their congressional maps.
I think we're getting real close to where there'll be enough senators that get you to the point where you call a special session, and then they're on record to say which way they're going to go.
The governor joined WIBC's Hammer and Nigel on Wednesday. He said they have a few weeks to get more Republican senators on the same page. A legal proceeding taking place Wednesday in the case against former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez, a pre-trial conference with Judge James Osborne presiding.
Pre-trial conference with a jury trial on December 11th at 8:30.
The judge and attorneys for both the prosecution and the defense confirmed that an omnibus hearing is set for November 20th. Sanchez stands accused of attacking a truck driver named Perry Toll in Indianapolis on October 4th. Toll says he had to stab Sanchez in self-defense. Sanchez was not present in the pre-trial conference as he continues to recover. 2 women are charged with helping a jailed man plot the murder of a confidential informant who helped police arrest him. Jason Bridges enlisted 54-year-old Radina Heyer and 20-year-old Alexis Drake in the plan. All 3 face charges, including conspiracy to commit murder. Bridges also faces multiple drug charges. Also in Fort Wayne, a man is now charged with attempted murder this week for a shooting with officers in Wabash County from last December.
There was several shots fired
from Mr. Slocum towards officers, which led to the charges of the attempted murder.
State Police Sergeant Stephen Glass says officers then shot Jason Slocum back. After getting treated for his injuries, Slocum was taken to the Allen County Jail. He also faces charges of unlawful possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon. And the Indiana Pacers are tipping off the regular season tonight. Head coach Rick Carlisle says playing the Thunder in their opener will be a challenge given what happened at the end of last season.
Our guys understand everything. Most of them watched last night's game. It's a team coming in that was great last year. They're great throughout the year. We just got to play.
The Thunder beat Indiana in the NBA Finals in 7 games. Tip-off tonight from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, 7:30 Eastern. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Got news.
What's that?
I don't know. Is it good news? Is it bad news? The government's still shut down.
It is. We're on day 23. President Trump told Democrats that he's not going to meet with them until the government reopens. He said, let the country open first, and then we'll get together.
This is day 24?
23.
23. Tomorrow's the 24th, right?
Correct.
Right, yeah, 24th, yeah. So we're on day 23, and we're no closer to a resolution on this. And I think they're handling it the right way. I mean, look, again, this is not about any sort of spending reform or change to government or making your life any better. We're talking about the Republicans, for all their huffing and puffing, just basically approved Biden's budget again. And the Democrats said no, and so if I were the Republicans, I would... People try to act like the Democrats have some sort of leverage in this. If I were the Republicans, I would just be like, well, we kind of wanted Obamacare to go away anyway, so we don't really care about these subsidies, so goodbye, good day.
The Democrats feel like they do have some leverage, especially if you listen to the Democratic whip of the U.S. House of Representatives. Keep in mind, this is the number 2 person in the House representing the Democrats. And she is saying, yeah, this is their leverage.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. Oh. But it is one of the few leverage times we have.
I mean, they've admitted it numerous times. This is like the thing about the whole shutdown that is so, ridiculous, which is they freely now admit they're so unafraid of voters, basically. And it's an indictment on us as a society. They're so unafraid on both sides. The politicians are so unafraid of voters that they just admit what they're doing. They used to lie about it, right? Now they're like, yeah, if we do this, then we won't get this thing we want. So we admit and we acknowledge people are going to get hurt, but we don't care.
It's gross, though, that they're using people
as
leverage.
And then, as soon as the government gets reopened, after now admitting that they don't care whether people hurt and acknowledging how little government we actually need, they'll go right back to any cut to government would be some crime against humanity. They will pivot right back to it. And at the end of the day, like I said, we allow this to happen because we keep excusing this behavior. We don't call it out. We don't challenge it. And we keep electing the same people.
Okay, so you still have Social Security payments going out. Medicare and Medicaid payments are continuing. You've got the Postal Service still running. Now the big thing is the SNAP and the WIC funds. They will continue until November. And that's where some people are starting to get nervous. Several states have warned that their recipients, they could possibly not get their SNAP benefits.
Yeah, let's just say the quiet part out loud here, though. There's millions of people who are on these benefits who don't need to be.
Right.
And they need to get off of them and get to work. Now, there are certainly some people in our society who are in need of assistance from us as humanity. And that's okay. Disabled people, people, who are trying to work, who are given their skill set, not able to bridge the gap between their working career and taking care of their children. Like, I think we all agree that we have a role in society of helping those people, but it's a fraction of the people that are actually on these programs. And this exists in this nature because we are a society that for years has devalued work. We've devalued personal responsibility. We let people know that if you want to screw around and not hold up your obligation to the rest of humanity, that we'll just give you a free ride. And so now all of these people have become addicted to the freebies, and then we go, well, what are these people going to do? Go get a job. The problem is many of these people have been so out of the game for so long, they don't actually they don't possess the skill set to get a job that would allow them to take care of themselves.
Saw a lot of videos yesterday of people complaining that they were going to lose their SNAP benefits and they might have to sell their BMW.
Oh.
Or they're sitting there in the video with their nails done and the fake eyelashes and the tattoos. All of those things cost a lot of money.
The iPhone.
Right, everything.
Yeah.
But yet they're complaining that they're going to lose their EBT cards.
Well, that's because we don't make people sink or swim. We don't make people who can take care of themselves do it. We don't make people who could be self-sufficient make hard choices. And for some reason, it comes back to us as a collective, us as a society, we have just accepted that this goes on, and we are okay with pulling the freight for these people. And I have no idea why, but that's where we're at, and we're about to find out. See, I'm kind of okay with this. And I hate that there are going to be people who are going to be harmed, who do want to do right and are trying to do right. But get off the couch. Go get a job. There are millions of people in this country who can do that, and now maybe it will force them to enter the workforce.
Donald Trump confirming he's not even considering budging on Chuck Schumer's $1.5 trillion demand.
Well, I think it's a shame that it's shut down because we have the greatest economy, as you were saying before. We have the greatest economy in the world right now, by far, the United States. We have almost 18, now it was 17, now it's $18 trillion being poured into our country, and it's no time for shutdowns. I don't think it's affecting what we're doing, but it's too bad for a lot of people. We have a lot of good people that aren't working right now that should be, and it's because the Democrats want to try and renegotiate a deal that they had negotiated. They want $1.5 trillion given to illegal immigrants who came into the country, and it's going to hurt the health care of citizens of our country that have been paying into it, that have been working hard for it, that really deserve it. So we're never going to do that. It's not going to happen. And I will tell you, there are a lot of good Democrats that really want to make a deal. And I think all we need is 5 Democrats because we have a great support on the Republican side. So I think we need 5 Democrats, and there are a lot of them that want to make a deal. So I think at some point, common sense will prevail.
Hang on just a second. The problem is illegals are getting health care in this country, Mr. President. The problem is that in your own big bullcrap bill, there was specific language that would have barred that, and your Republican Party removed that. See, I just have a hard time sitting there and letting this guy lie. And then I say, well, what else is he lying about? And he's also totally out of touch about the economy. In his rich friend world, maybe it's going well. It is not going well for Main Street. The regular people are getting crushed, and he seems totally just like insulated from what's going on. And all of these politicians are this way, but he's the one out there. He's the president. He's making the statements, and it's just like, I want to be behind the guy. I want to support the guy because I think the border, the foreign policy stuff, I think is really good. But I hear stuff like that, and I go, sir, you're just flat out lying. Illegals are getting health care in this country. And, sir, the economy is not great for a lot of people.
Okay, well, he was talking about Democrats that could come over, and that's possibly what will happen at the end of the day. Chuck Schumer with a wink and a nod. Yeah, go do this so we can reopen the government back up. But here's John Fetterman, and he is saying country over party.
Hi, here we are, and our government remains closed. And I think that's failure. And I'm the guy that's going to consistently vote for country over party. I'm always going to vote for paying our military over the party. I'm always going to vote for paying the Capitol Police over my party. And I'm going to continue to fight for the 2 million Pennsylvanians that depend on SNAP to feed themselves. And I'm also going to fight for the same 400,020 Pennsylvanians that depend on those tax credits to make health insurance more affordable. Two things are true, and now we can fight for all of them as long as our government is open. My vote is going to remain firmly on keeping our government open, and I'm going to continue to fight for all of those Pennsylvanians that I'm honored to represent here.
Okay.
2 million people on SNAP benefits in Pennsylvania.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And let's talk about what is at the core of what he's talking about. They're doing some victory parade because all this guy does, any of these lawmakers do, all state, federal, local, all they do. You notice who never gets thanked? The taxpayers. In all these speeches and all these ribbon cuttings and all these proclamations and all these groundbreakings, you know who never gets thanked? The taxpayers. You know, like there was this ribbon cutting yesterday for this HarperCollins facility in Brownsburg that the governor showed up to.
Project Tahoe.
Tahoe, yes, which they were so proud of it, they wouldn't tell you what it was until after all the freebies had been given away. And you know who I didn't hear thanked yesterday?
You.
The taxpayers.
Yeah.
Who create the IEDC. In my community, the abatement they're beginning, which is a subsidy from the taxpayer. It's never thank you to us. And this guy, who does nothing like any of the rest of the lawmakers, but take money from other people and then give it to someone else. Acts like he's fighting. Like it's his money that he's giving away. No, all you're doing is you take it from me and you decide who you're going to give it to, and we're supposed to throw a parade for the guy.
Trump did sign an executive order that ensures that the active duty military personnel are paid. That doesn't cover all the federal workers that are required to work. We've got Nikki Kelly who's going to join us next.
Man, we got a whole bunch of stuff to get to. We got the latest on the redistricting. We've got the No Kings protest over the weekend. We got this IURC drama. A lot to get to with Nikki Kelly.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
You want to know why people don't trust the government? Coffee's bad for you. No way, coffee's fine. Eggs are bad for you. No way, eggs are fine. Steak is bad for you. No wait, kale is bad for you. People who eat kale all the time, you're leading miserable, terrible lives, and we see you. My cheekbones, by the way, are all the way up. You just can't see them because I'm so happy. You know how I got happy? Steak.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
So October is here. I've got peace of mind with my Window Nation windows that the hot air is going to stay in my house and the cold air is going to stay out. You can eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with top quality replacement windows from Window Nation, just like I did. And they got an awesome deal right now going on at windownation.com.
Window Nation has an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they send the best of the best out to your house. All of their experts have multiple years experience, and Window Nation windows come with a lifetime warranty. So schedule a fast and free estimate right now with Window Nation. And now through October 31st, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And you don't pay anything for 2 years. 866-90-NATION or go online to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
There's one name for every home system, Chapman. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drains, electrical, and now proudly serving Bloomington. Remember the man for all seasons, and now more reasons. Chapman, chapmanheating.com.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
Replace old floors before the holidays with Drexel Interiors and get a free pad with qualifying purchase of new carpeting or luxury vinyl through November 15. Go to DrexelIN.com for details.
I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking through the streets of Soho in the rain.
Lots going on with Indiana politics and government. Let's get to the bottom of it with one of the best in the business. Nikki Kelly from the Indiana Capital Chronicle joins us now. Nikki Kelly, hello.
Good morning.
All right, so we've spent a lot of time this morning talking about redistricting, and the big news yesterday is the Senate, the spokesperson comes out and says there are not the votes. I am blown away by this. What have you been hearing? What say you?
Yeah, it just seemed to come out of nowhere, given that the Republican caucus has been very quiet. I think intuitively we knew they didn't have the votes because otherwise it would have moved forward. And I think the reason it was finally confirmed on the record is there were these sort of unnamed source rumors from Washington saying they did have the votes. And so all of a sudden yesterday it kind of exploded, and you're starting to see people really line up publicly for or against, though we're still waiting to hear from a lot of Republicans on where they sit.
The reporting says, and Adam Wren, who will join us next hour, kind of led on this, that Bray basically said, and I'm not quoting this verbatim, but Bray said no dice, and then his sort of group went with him. Have you heard anything different? Because you're right, there hasn't been an official tally taken.
Yeah, I mean, what I've heard is that they simply don't have the votes. That not that Bray is leading the no votes, but that they simply don't have them. We've only been able to confirm 5 yes votes on the record. Now, obviously, there are probably some others, but, they need 26. So unless a lot of other people exist, they simply don't have them. And now what we're seeing is the blame game, right, is who's responsible for not having them.
Yeah, that's what's very interesting is all these internet influencers came out and started screaming, we're going to target this person or that person, call these people. And my response to that has been, it's clear the people in these people's districts either don't want it or are apathetic to it, and that's all that's going to change their mind.
I mean, certainly I'm convinced that there are probably some no votes who wouldn't be able to, there is a difference between being no privately and be able to stand up to the pressure that you're seeing online, what could come in ads, what could come in money against you in an opponent. So, if we make it to a special session, I think there are going to be some of those no votes who would end up switching to yes. But at least right now, there are no votes because they don't believe in it, and their districts don't like it or see the reason behind it.
Hey, Nikki, yesterday when Governor Braun was on with Hammer and Nigel, he said if he calls the special session, it will force people to go on the record. Do you think that they came out and said we don't have the votes to do that? Your thoughts on that?
I think they came out because, again, people were telling them that Washington, D.C. people were saying they did have the votes. And so I think the reason that came out was because they were trying to refute the words coming from, quote, D.C. land, Trump land. So I think that's the reason that came out.
Nikki Kelly from the Indiana Capital Chronicle is our guest. All right, if you were a betting person, because it's like Animal House, nothing's over until we decide it is, do you think this is it, or do you think we're going to see this thing rear its ugly head again? And do you think Braun will actually say, this will shock you, Casey, Braun might not stay true to his word, and we'll just call the special session even if there's, quote unquote, not the votes?
Yeah, I've been saying for a while I still think there's going to be a special session. At this point, though, Braun has to either call it or officially punt because they're running out of time. And we can't, have this sort of will they, won't they thing for much longer.
All right, other news. You guys covered the No Kings protest over the weekend. Lengthy write-up over at Indiana Capitol Chronicle. Look, a lot of people went. A lot of people were there, but did it move the needle? What was your guys' kind of takeaway from the weekend protest?
I mean, I went up to Lebanon, and we had a reporter in Indy. I don't know if the purpose of it is to move the needle. I don't know. A lot of people that I spoke to just wanted to show their dissatisfaction with some of the things the Trump administration is doing, and that is their way to, feel like they're being heard or having their voice out there. So do I think it'll change much? No, but I know a lot of people I talked to felt good, even if it was because, they were around other like-minded people kind of thing,
So the ones across the country and the ones in Indianapolis, obviously they were very well attended. Did you sense a theme from what you guys saw in Indianapolis or Lebanon? Like, did they match up, or was it just sort of a hodgepodge of people, complaining about a variety of things?
I mean, there were a variety of issues that came up, but the big ones were people concerned about how the deportations are going and due process and, snatching people off the street, so to say. That came up a lot. There are a lot of concerns about health care. There are a lot of concerns about, quote, following the law and the Constitution. And they see things, like, for instance, Congressman Banks tweeting a picture of the Trump 2028 hat. And people say, oh, of course we're following the Constitution. But when opponents see that, when the Constitution clearly says that Trump can't serve a third term, that's what riles all this up, and that's an example of what things they were saying was follow the Constitution.
Yeah, but don't you think that was intentional? That's just a little bit of trolling.
Of course it's trolling, but then you can't say, oh, we're not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If you're trolling them and bringing it up, then that's obviously going to make them upset. Another issue that comes up repeatedly is calling out the census as being inappropriately done in 2020 because it counted illegal aliens. And obviously, when you look at the Constitution, it specifically says to count all persons. And so that's another example of what they were saying is, we're not following the law or the Constitution.
Nikki Kelly, our guest from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle, a couple minutes left with her. The other big thing, and you guys sort of had the lead write-up on this, very well done, in-depth write-up. The IURC nominating committee narrows this down to 22 members. We had, obviously, Jim Merritt's a big part of this show, and we had him on yesterday. And we kind of talked a lot about, I think there's some unreasonable expectations from people that whoever's going to get appointed, the thing they're going to look at is, will you agree to not raise utility rates anymore? I think the utility rates are going to keep going up no matter what the governor says. What say you?
I'm sure that a lot of the utilities are going to be able to, within the framework of the law that's already set up, argue for some increases. Now, whether those are going to be smaller increases is, probably fair, but lawmakers are going to have to make some changes to ways these cost recovery mechanisms and things they put into law for utilities to see dramatic change. Otherwise, I certainly we'll see smaller increases or see people who will be more questionable or questioning more these increased requests.
You guys had, and it's sort of, it's near the top of the story, but I think it's actually the big thing is you guys actually went to the website and said, okay, like, what's the mission statement or the charge of the IURC? And I thought it was great you put that in there. It is, quote, it is an advocate of neither the public nor the utilities. And that line just blew me away, that it's like their job is not to be on the side of the taxpayer, which is very interesting.
I do like to put that line in there because I think a lot of people think they're automatically on the side of utilities. And then, people think the OUCC, which they are supposed to be advocating for the ratepayers. So I do like to throw that in there because I think everyone would agree that it's been tilted a bit in the last decade.
Hey, Nikki, Rob and I made our bets on who we picked, who we think will be selected. You want to get in on this?
Well, who are your bets?
So I went with Alexander Jork on the Democrat side because he's a solar guy, and I know several of the people in the Braun administration are big, alternative energy people. And then I picked Christopher Baggett. He's the cluster truck and exact target guy because I think he gave the most to Braun, so I went with him.
Yeah. I chose Andy Zay because I think he's been repeating the energy message across the state of Indiana. And then Philip Casey because he's a solar attorney, so he's got experience in that. Plus, his last name is Casey.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good possibilities. They're going to do 3 days of interviews next week, and then the key is they're going to send over 3 recommendations for each spot. So 9 finalists that Ron will have to pick from. So it sounds like he'll have plenty of choices.
All right, find her over at IndianaCapitalChronicle.com. Nikki Kelly, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-929. That's 317-660-929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Wells Financial at 317-660-929. That's 660-929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wells Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're trying to get people paid. Sunny and 46 with a high of 55. Mostly sunny skies for today with some wind gusts, too. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 10:31. Senate Republicans are trying to pressure Democrats by taking a test vote today on paying essential federal workers who have been on the job during the shutdown but worked without a paycheck.
It's a dare by Senate Republicans. The GOP wants Democrats to either pay essential workers or make them keep working without a paycheck. Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman previously voted with the GOP to fund the government.
I'm a country over party guy. I'm always going to vote to pay our military over the party. If I pay a price within my base, that's something I'm willing to do.
Fetterman is one of 3 senators who caucuses with the Democrats who voted to open the government.
The administration has moved around money to pay the military and process farm loans, but there are limits on what the administration can do without help from Congress. In the other chamber, House Democrats are launching a major ICE tracker that the Trump administration says could put the lives of agents in danger. The tracker would make it easier to see where ICE agents are located. This comes as ICE operations increasingly come under attack in Democrat-led cities. An ICE raid in New York City's Chinatown neighborhood on Tuesday led to 9 suspected illegal immigrants being arrested. And just announced this hour by FBI Director Kash Patel, 31 people in total in nearly a dozen states have been arrested in connection to the illegal sports gambling investigation, which includes Heat player Terry Rozier and Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Pat Sullivan here, hoping not to spook you, but you could have a clogged drain and not even know it, which could result in a horror story. Have no fear. As part of their Halloween spooky deals, my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling are offering a $43 mainline snaking plus a free camera inspection. And the best part, if they don't get your drain flowing, it's free. Nothing scary about that deal. Call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today to schedule an appointment.
Custom jewelry is not out of reach with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. At PA Jewelers, you can customize any piece of jewelry for that special someone. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg. Gold, diamonds, gemstones, and of course those watches from Flederman Von Riest, assembled right here in Indiana. Custom design jewelry with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. Custom jewelry made just for you. PA Jewelers, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-456-4010. PAJewelers.jewelry.
Hey guys, it's Rob. If you're looking for a new church home or a first church home, check out the place we call home, Life Church. You know, one of the things we love about Life Church is they make kids a priority. It's a big thing, right? Like, I go to church, what am I going to do with my kid? Who's going to watch them? Life Church has a long history of amazing kids and youth ministries, and they want you to know that at Life Church, the whole family matters, which is why they say, parents, you can do this, and we will help you. Check out their Next Gen page on how they take care of your kids at lifechurchin.com. Reach out to them with questions or to check out service times and locations. lifechurchin.com.
Growing your retail business is easier with Shopify Point of Sale. Shopify POS connects your entire retail store, in-store, online, and social media on one platform. It's built for how customers shop today and for how they'll shop tomorrow. The result? Smoother checkouts and deeper customer relationships that pay off and keep them coming back. Ready to grow with Shopify POS? Visit shopify.com/switch now for more details. That's shopify.com/switch now.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMikesHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Okay, so we got some breaking news, Casey.
Yeah.
Our old pal, Indy reporter, Stephen Whitmer, at Indy_reporter_ has let me know that he has obtained the Mike Bohachik body cam video.
He has.
Yes. So for those of you who are, like, most of our longtime listeners will remember this, Mike Bohachik is a state senator from northern Indiana. He, during the legislative session, was pulled over. It is believed he was called in by the people at the Panda Express. He was so liquored up at the Panda Express and then tried to leave that people were like, this guy cannot be operating a motor vehicle, and was pulled over by the police, refused the breathalyzer. Now, this was on a Friday, this afternoon, right? This Friday afternoon. Refused the breathalyzer. The blood draw came back was like 0.283, which is 3.5 times the legal limit. However, because these dirt bags in the General Assembly exempt themselves from any sort of prosecution during session,
legislative immunity,
he was able to hide in the shadows, continue to legislate on our behalf and lord over us and make decisions for us in anonymity. Believe he avoided the mug shot. He was able to drive his car, which a breathalyzer refusal is an automatic. Should be an automatic license
for you
suspension, and then got a sweetheart plea deal with no real punishment whatsoever, even though whatever it was, 3 whatever in the afternoon, he was 3.5 times the legal limit on a Friday. And so Stephen, our old pal, and if you've not followed the Indy Reporter account, you totally should. Again, it's at Indy_reporter_. Stephen went on a little expedition to try to get the video. He found out it was going to cost him like $150, so he did a little Patreon account. I gave the first $20.
Raise the money?
I don't give money on the internet, so I gave it to him in person.
Sure you
I
did.
gave him an actual $20 bill. And now he has obtained the video. He told me he is currently, it's about 2.5 hours, I think he said.
Wow.
So he's in the process of working through it, and then he will, it's my understanding, post some of the video tonight to the Indy Reporter Twitter account if people want to see this.
I'm sure he's getting to editing right now.
Yeah, so anyway, I thought that was a kind of a win for humanity, and a good job by him being a tenacious bulldog, and that was one of the best $20 I ever spent.
Because your theory is that if nothing happens to these guys, shame them.
That's it. That's the only option you have. I mean, look at how many of these guys have done this stuff, and nothing ever happens to them. And they don't really have any shame, so you can't actually publicly shame them. But it's the only, as a member of decent law-abiding society, the only recourse we really have.
It's good that he was able to get the price down, because at one point, weren't they saying it was going to be like $500 or $800?
Yeah, I think they might have misquoted that, and then he came back and
it's supposed to be within reason.
Haggled with them. And so anyway, hopefully there'll be some good stuff there for us to view this evening.
Coming up at 11 o'clock, we're going to have Adam Wren join us from Politico.
He broke the story yesterday that the Republicans in the Senate are saying they don't have the votes for redistricting. He's broken a lot of the news as it's related to the redistricting information. So we'll get with him to hear what he is hearing about, hey, is this actually done? Could it still come back? What does it look like if they try to go to a special session, et cetera, et cetera.
Isn't that the guy that said you were the most important?
Powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah, we don't want him to get words wrong.
Most powerful broadcaster in the state of Indiana.
That's right.
Yeah.
He knows talent when he sees it. What can I say?
Okay. Well, we'll discuss with him at 11 o'clock what he has found out and what he thinks the latest is.
Okay, so this complete joke of a commission yesterday met, in which their goal is to, their stated objective is to what? Figure out how to bring 33 Illinois counties into Indiana that are never coming into Indiana.
Yeah, it's the Indiana-Illinois Boundary Adjustment Commission. They met yesterday in Terre Haute. You might remember this commission was created during the past legislative session, led by the Speaker, Todd Houston. The purpose to explore transferring some of the conservative Illinois counties to Indiana.
Okay, so a couple things. One, this was the Speaker's pet project this year. It wasn't making sure you can afford to stay in your home and get the property taxes under control. His pet project, arguably the most powerful person in the Indiana government, because he controls the money, is the Speaker, was to form this commission in which we've got Bo Baird. Well, speaking of guys who get OWIs, Bo Baird, remember, he got one, and then conveniently his name and address were just entered wrong into the system, and so he evaded any sort of scrutiny until we found it, and then we had to tell everyone because he wouldn't man up and tell everyone. And then he tried to say he was some like struggling college student, even though I think he's older than me, which means when this happened, he would have been in his mid-30s, but his statement was like, I'm sorry, I was a grad student or whatever it was. Anyway, we've got Bo Baird, I think he was on Breitbart, laughing about it, saying that, oh, this is never happening. And the state of Illinois has said this is never happening, and they would have to participate. And even if the governor there suffered some serious head injury and participated, then the Congress would have to approve it, and it ain't happening there. And everybody has kind of acknowledged, even in this Capitol Chronicle article, they finally acknowledged, basically for the first time through some sort of spokesperson for Todd Houston, the Speaker of the House, that this isn't happening.
So what you've got is the governor, Mike Braun. He appointed 6 Indiana members, and then Indiana holds 6 seats on this commission. And Illinois can appoint up to 5 members if it passes matching legislation.
They've passed no legislation, though. They have appointed
Correct.
0 members.
Right. Yeah. And the commission can only act officially if 6 commissioners are present. But Illinois doesn't have any commissioners on it. So what? It's just people from Indiana sitting around going, yeah, we're doing this.
Well, and I mean,
nobody from Illinois is weighing in.
It's a colossal waste of time. And many people who spoke yesterday to this commission via video testimony said this exact same thing. The people in Illinois don't even agree. Like, there's 33 counties who want out, but they don't even agree what they want to do. There's some who want a new state, never happening. There's some that want to go to another state, never happening. But even those who want to go to another state, they don't want to go to Indiana. They're not all like, let's do this so we can go to Indiana. Oh, and also, they're financial bloodsuckers. So we're going to take on a state that already can't pay its bills without raising taxes by $1 billion, is going to take on a bunch of charity cases. Boy, that is brilliant.
Okay, so we've got Hammer who's going to be joining us in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk about that breaking story with the Portland Trailblazers coach, Chauncey Billups. He's been arrested by the FBI for alleged illegal gambling. But before we get to that, let's go back to what happened. The other NBA started, by the way. Pacers have a game tonight.
First game. It's the Thunder.
And so Michael Jordan was doing part of his NBC. He's with the broadcast team now, but really what it looks like is that he's just sitting down for an interview and they're going to chop it up and air that.
Now, your husband was weeping openly because the first game was the other night. And, like, there were all these grown men, your husband included, in their 40s and 50s and 60s, who were, like, turning into little boys because Michael Jordan is now going to be back on television doing something with basketball.
Yeah, Jim was saying, we haven't heard his voice in so long. But during that interview, Michael Jordan revealed with Mike Tirico that he hasn't picked up a basketball in years.
Did you ever pick up a ball and just shoot?
I haven't picked up a ball in years.
No, come on. Just like walk past. There's got to be a hoop somewhere at your place.
You don't see a hoop anywhere around here, right?
I don't. Wait, seriously,
it's
the last time you picked up a basketball and shot it?
I was at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And I rented a house from the owner.
Sure.
He came over to do pictures. He had grandkids. And I was meet and greet and thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, I want you to shoot one free throw. I said, really? And I already paid for the house. It's not like they got to see me. So when I stepped up to shoot the free throw, it's the most nervous I've been in years.
Stop it.
In years.
Stop it. Come on.
And reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago.
Right.
So their expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball.
I hope you swished it.
Absolutely.
And there's video of it. The video
yeah,
surfaced.
the videos come out.
He totally did. Mike, I know we got to get to Hammer, but Michael Jordan is fascinating because there are certain people that it is so much more than just their athletics. They just sort of defined a generation of people, or in this case, kids or fans. Muhammad Ali was that way. And Mickey Mantle was that way in the 1950s. I think Tiger Woods was kind of that way for a generation, redefining a sport that didn't have that. But Michael Jordan is just so much bigger than basketball itself, and you see it when, he's 60 some odd years old. Why would he be
playing basketball still?
But your husband.
But somebody challenged him, and he said, "Okay."
But your husband is like, hey, he's going to give an interview. What, like he's going to reveal deepest, darkest secrets? No, but he's giving an interview.
He's speaking. I saw somebody posted a video of Michael Jordan online when he was playing baseball.
Yeah.
And they said, well, what is this AI? Oh, wait, no, that actually happened.
All right, so there's big arrests involving professional basketball that came down earlier this hour, and Jason Hammer will be with us to make sense of it next.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, sanctions on Russian oil, and my gosh, is there a redistricting fight going on in America? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Groceries, gas, just about everything you can buy comes with a tax on it. No matter what, the government's always there to take their cut of your cash. Your money belongs to you. That's why Congressman Jim Baird joined with President Donald Trump to pass historic legislation to ensure you keep more of your hard-earned cash. According to the White House, Congressman Baird's vote means Americans will receive a tax cut, saving over $10,000 every year. They'll get no taxes on tips for workers, and families will receive permanent increases to child tax credits and expanded child care access. That means bigger paychecks, a stronger economy, and more prosperity across our nation. To learn more about how President Trump and Congressman Jim Baird are saving American families money and putting money in your wallet, call Congressman Baird's office at 317-563-5567 or visit baird.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hey guys, it's Rob from Mark Deedle. You know, Indianapolis real estate market is strong but not easy. Now is a good time to sell, only if you hire a real estate team that knows how to aggressively market your home like Mark Deedle Realty. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no hassle home sale but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Neil in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietel. I'd already moved and listed my old home with an agent friend for 60 days. Not happy. I decided to evaluate the market and the Mark Dietel marketing plan, and I switched. To my relief, about 15 of those days were on the market. The house was on the market for 15 days, and the Mark Dietel team sold my home as is for the price I needed. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
It's opening night, presented by Kroger with your Indiana Pacers. Two to shoot.
Oh, my goodness! What is happening here? My. A three from the left side. It's 75-37.
It's a rematch of the NBA Finals when your blue and gold meet the Thunder Thursday at 7:30. Join us pregame for a party on the plaza. Score your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Thunder, Thursday at 7:30.
Of all the times to buy new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus, get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today? Today.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching fever under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whole home protection of your water for what matters most. People, pets, plumbing, and appliances. The sale's on at C&J, and it's a good one. 317-733-SOFT.
Snapped a great photo? Witness something newsworthy?
Hey, there's some news.
You can text it right to the WIBC newsroom. Join the text club. Text WIBC to 317-239-9393.
Okay, so big arrests announced this hour related to gambling in the National Basketball Association. Jason Hammer, one half of the Hammer and Nigel show, is here at Sports It's Gambling. That's you, buddy. What's going on?
This press conference was pretty wild because the information we learned, it's not necessarily about the people involved, it's about the technology. So the Trailblazers coach, Chauncey Billups,
who I think is a Hall of Famer.
Right. Won a championship with the Pistons, beat IU in the tournament when he was with Colorado back in the day. He's been arrested. Miami Heat player Terry Rozier has been arrested, and former player Damon Jones have been arrested.
So 3 guys.
Now, Rozier and Jones are separate than Chauncey Billups. Billups is charged with being part of these high-stakes poker games funded by the mob where cheating is taking place. And the press conference that just took place was amazing because they're breaking down the technology used to cheat people in these high-stakes poker games.
Oh, wow.
It's like something from like a James Bond or Austin Powers movie. Special shufflers where they can see what's going on. There were also devices where you could read what's on the cards and things like that.
So this is like a Sopranos episode, except it's foreign mafia people, isn't it?
Well, it's tied to several different mafia families. Now, you've heard of some of them. Some of them are Italian American mafia families. The Gambino, the Case families.
They're still around?
Still around. Still doing it. 11 states are involved here, 31 total arrests. Now, Billups is with the mafia and the cheating of these high-stakes poker games. Terry Rozier was, in essence, point shaving. He was basically telling all of your buddies to bet the under on my props during the game, and he would figure out some sort of way to either fake an injury or do something. They had a system set up where the night before he would tell somebody a certain phrase, and that would be their key to bet the under on a prop.
He's made a ton of, this is what I can't figure out about these NBA guys. He's made a ton of money in his life playing basketball. Why would he do this?
That's a great question. They can't help themselves. The FBI said they recorded more than 3,000 phone calls and meetings with the targets of this investigation. People were wearing wires. Like, this is honestly like something you would see from a movie.
And this is what's interesting is these things take time.
Right.
And sometimes they start with one thing and they end up with another thing because they catch it looking into the first thing. So just because the perception is...
Could have started with Rozier and ended up with Chauncey.
Yeah, so a lot of times with criminal investigations, just because their perception is nothing's happening doesn't mean nothing, because this took a long time.
Here are the bullet points of some of the technological advances that were uncovered in this sting. X-ray machines built into poker tables to read face-down cards, contact lenses and glasses that read pre-marked cards, secret cameras and card trays, and special shuffling machines.
Okay, so this is my gambling question to you, because you can go to a casino and you can play cards. Why would he being Chauncey Billups, do this? Why wouldn't he just go to, like, Michael Jordan, was Allen Iverson? Those guys would go play in a casino.
Because he was in on defrauding all these people.
Oh, I gotcha. He's in on the con. It's not the game that they're going after him.
No, he was in on the con. And they were bringing these people in thinking it was a fair poker game.
Oh, I'm playing cards with Chauncey Billups.
Right.
You guys playing cards?
Yeah.
If you remember at the beginning of Ocean's 11, like, they've got Brad Pitt's character, he's teaching celebrities how to play poker.
Yeah.
And it's these big stakes, backroom kind of games. Kind of what's going on here. They had these big whales, so it was a mix of Ocean's 11 and Rounders, these back alley poker games, but Teddy KGB and the Mafia are funding these things.
Oh, man. Oh, so he's in big trouble.
Right. Right now, I don't care what's going on in your life. Maybe you're having job trouble, maybe you're having woman trouble, whatever the case may be. You're doing better than Chauncey Billups. His job right now is to figure out, do I want to go to federal prison, or do I want to rat out the mob?
Right.
Those are his options right now.
And again, it's a Hall of Famer. I think he's in the Hall of Fame.
He
who's
is.
made a gajillion dollars, who's a high-profile NBA head coach now, or was, or I guess still maybe is. Why would you do this? Do you need money that bad?
And they said the investigation is still ongoing. This is kind of what they found. It was almost like a domino effect. I think they were probably looking into the players for point shaving, prop shaving.
Yep.
And once somebody's in custody, because if you remember, there was a Raptors player that got in trouble for this. And it sounds like those investigations overlapped. One person starts squealing to save themselves. And now it's the domino effect.
And led him to the Portland Trailblazers head coach.
Wow. Yes, this is big,
and there's
man.
some upfront money to get this going.
The technology is wild, though. It's like something from a Bond movie.
What are you doing this afternoon?
We'll have the latest on this, and you are going to come by and go off the rails. Biggest stories in Indy, and rumors of an appearance by AI Joe Hogsett.
Oh, how exciting. You know, he got disinvited to that Irvington.
He's going to respond.
Oh, great.
How exciting.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Right now, you can buy with zero down. Choose from over 2,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus, every Hubler Q certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. We'll pay top dollar for your trade. Bring Hubler your old car for an immediate appraisal. Zero Down delivers. And Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 convenient locations.
Cover me!
Select models, approved credit. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
The big fall sale is here at Sundown Gardens. Visit the Garden Center for 20% off interior fall decor and 50% off pottery. It's the best deals of the season. All container trees and shrubs are now 30 to 50% off. Now's a great time to add to your landscape and save while you're doing it. The friendly staff at Sundown Gardens can help you add all the right touches to your home and landscape. Sundown Gardens, located on the corner of 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield, sundown.gardens.com.
So, where's the lake?
Not here.
But it says Great Lakes Honda of Fishers.
Right. I just don't see a lake.
Well, who needs a lake when you can lease a 2026 HR-VLX all-wheel drive for $309 a month and zero down?
That definitely won't soak our bank account.
Oh, it's the old Honda of Fishers.
Great Lakes, great people, great cars.
But no actual lake.
Visit our showroom off State Road 37 today. Tax and title fees not included with approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only. 10,000 miles a year. Not combinable with other offers. Loyalty or conquest rebates may apply. Offer ends October 31st. See dealer for details.
Transform your backyard this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete. Get a free outdoor furniture set with our best stamped concrete patio package. Create the perfect space for cozy outdoor hangouts. Hurry, this offer ends November 1st. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details.
I was seriously injured. It was definitely somebody's fault, and I didn't actually know who, so I needed to call someone. I was really happy to have a law firm like Hensley that had ethics. I made the best call.
It happens. Hire Hensley.
Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or drexelin.com today.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, how the governor is reacting to news out of the Indiana State Senate about redistricting efforts. And it's a new season starting tonight for the Indiana Pacers. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
A basketball Hall of Famer caught in an FBI net. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Chauncey Billups, now coach of the Portland Trailblazers, was arrested this morning, and so was an NBA player, Terry Rozier with the Miami Heat, and former player Damon Jones.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals.
FBI Director Kash Patel says some are accused in illegal sports bets like Rozier. Billups and others are caught up in illegal poker games run by the mafia.
And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people for money, to include crypto fraud.
The government remains shut down a 23rd day, and House Speaker Mike Johnson keeps blaming Democrats.
They own this shutdown, and they own the consequences, too.
And that includes the ongoing flight delays, more than 15,000 this week alone.
Democrats were quoted saying they won't reopen the government unless, quote, planes are falling out of the sky, unquote. We pray to God it doesn't come to that, obviously. But the longer this shutdown goes on, and as fewer air traffic controllers show up to work, the safety of the American people is thrown further into jeopardy.
Now, the Senate will consider a plan today to pay federal workers who have to keep working in the shutdown. Democrats are blaming it all on Republicans for refusing to consider health care provisions to a government funding bill still stalled. Democrats are also upset in California that President Trump is sending a federal force to San Francisco.
San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie is condemning the move to send more than 100 Customs and Border Protection and other federal agents to his city, according to reporting from the San Francisco Chronicle. The U.S. Coast Guard says it is providing its base in Alameda as a center of operations for the agents in support of the federal government's immigration efforts.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He says there's still time to act. It's sunny, 48 in the Circle City. Today's high, just 56. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 11:02. Indiana Governor Mike Braun believes the Senate will end up gathering enough votes so they can discuss redrawing the state's congressional maps in a special session, especially if they hear from the White House again.
When you come in twice, you're given time for them to stew on it. When you get the call from
the president last Friday, and that should have taken all the mystery out of what the White House wants to do.
Braun talking about Vice President J.D. Vance, who has spoken with Republican leaders twice now about the matter. A spokesperson for Senate President Pro Temp Roger Bray said on Wednesday that Indiana Republicans currently don't have the necessary votes to move forward with a plan for mid-decade redistricting. The governor told the Hammer and Nigel show on WIBC that he'd like to call a special session sometime before late November. IU's Phi Kappa Psi fraternity is under criminal investigation for a reported hazing incident. Campus police say it happened last week during their homecoming week and resulted in 2 people having to go to the hospital. The school issued a cease and desist, preventing the frat from hosting or participating in social events or recruiting activities. Upcoming court dates confirmed on Wednesday in the Mark Sanchez case at a pretrial conference. Judge James Osborne said the final pretrial conference is December 2nd, and the jury trial will start 9 days later. One of Sanchez's attorneys is Edward Timothy Delaney. Here's how he responded when reacting to the dates.
Thank you for allowing our client to be excused from today's hearing. He's still recovering from the injuries he sustained in the medical intervention, so that process is ongoing, and it may impact some of the dates, but right now we'll note those dates for our calendars.
All right.
The former NFL quarterback was stabbed October 4th in downtown Indianapolis by a truck driver named Perry Toll during an argument. Toll says Sanchez was the aggressor, and he's now suing him. You may have felt the chill this morning, and it's not going anywhere. Ryan Hedrick reports.
A freeze warning early Friday covers the entire state as temperatures dip to 32 degrees or below.
It does look like some outlying rural areas, especially in the Wabash River Valley, could potentially get into the upper 20s as well.
Forecaster Cody Moore at the National Weather Service Indianapolis says freeze warnings go out when temps are expected to hit 32 degrees or lower, and they stay long enough to damage plants and crops. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC, Mobile News.
And the Indiana Pacers are ready to celebrate with fans this evening at Gainbridge Fieldhouse as they will open the regular season by raising an Eastern Conference Championship banner. They take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, whom they went 7 games with in the NBA Finals last season. Tonight's tip-off, 7:30. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Indy, stop using the fall to paint year after year. Do what Lynn did. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now, you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
All right, redistricting is all the talk in Indiana. Let's go right to the WIBC hotline with the guy who broke the story yesterday that Rod Bray, the pro tem, the leader of the Senate, says they don't have the votes to move forward on redistricting. Adam Wren is his name. He's a writer for Politico, also in Portonville. Adam, hello.
Good to be with you, Rob.
Okay, so you put the story out yesterday in Politico that the spokesman for Rod Bray says they don't have the votes. Did you get the feeling that it's we don't have the votes right now, or we don't have them and we're not going to have them?
Well, what was interesting, Rob, is as I was reporting this out, I had caught wind that the House Republicans caucus on Tuesday evening, and did have the votes. Emerged from that, had the votes that Houston conveyed to the White House, that he had the votes to pass this in a House. And then I caught wind that there was just a call, a virtual call with Rod Bray and fellow Republican senators yesterday morning at 9 o'clock. And what's interesting there is it was a call. It was not a caucus formally. And so that sort of tells you a lot right there, that, it was more designed to kind of convey a message than it was to solicit, intense debate and feedback. And of course, not long after, we learned that there weren't the votes there. Now, the White House disagrees with Bray's assessment. The White House says that they have a private whip count and that they believe that they do have the votes from the rank and file members, and that it's mostly, the opposition is mostly centered in Bray's leadership team, the 6 or 7 people that he works with to run the Senate. But what's interesting about that is right after we broke this story, Chris Garton, who is on the leadership team, a Republican who works with Rod Bray, came out on X and said that he actually does now support redistricting mid-cycle, and so that sort of adds to the numbers. And so we're right at about 5 or 6 people, Republicans in the Senate, who say publicly that they support redistricting. But really, at the end of the day, Rob, this comes down to Rod Bray and whether he can withstand the pressure that is mounting right now from the White House as they try to whip their votes, and larger, MAGA world on X. Steve Bannon told me yesterday that these senators haven't even begun to feel the pressure that's about to head their way. Chris LaCivita, Trump's 2024 presidential campaign manager, responded to me and said, now the fun part starts, basically implying that he's going to enjoy the process of primarying these folks.
Adam Wren is our guest from Politico. He broke the story yesterday that the pro tem of the Senate, Rod Bray, says that they don't have the votes to go forward with redistricting.
Adam, it's Casey. I'm wondering, what are the potential political consequences for these lawmakers who oppose the redistricting push?
Casey, we're still seeing what's happening here. We're seeing a lot of online activity on X, MAGA influencers kind of pressuring these senators' holdouts here. And we don't quite know what the real world consequences are going to be here. There's not a lot of time to recruit, challengers to people like Rod Bray. We're sort of weeks and not too many months away from the filing deadline. And so, honestly, the White House is really under pressure here to follow through on their threats to primary reluctant holdouts. What's fascinating to me is that President Donald Trump, who isn't afraid to pick up his phone and post to X or Truth Social, hasn't really said anything negative so far, threatening these folks like he usually does. It's been a largely, carrot-based process and not so many sticks. And so really the next week or so before Braun calls a special session, that's when we were likely to see the sticks, if there are any, come out. They've all been sort of bluffs from the White House, and so they're on a hot seat to follow through on those bluffs if they're really going to enforce their political operation.
Adam, in your article, you said allies to the White House, like Senator Jim Banks, have warned control of the House rests on whether Indiana can produce 2 additional Republican-held congressional districts. Can you speak more on that?
Yeah, all of the data we've seen about the broader midterm environment across the country right now suggests a closer than normal midterms, where you're really going to see the battle for control of the House, come down to perhaps single digits here. And so if Indiana Republicans want to redraw the maps and are going to accrue any political cost to do that, they're going to go after 2 seats, the 1st district up by Chicago and the 7th district here surrounding Indianapolis. And so, those 2 seats, if they were redrawn to friendly Republican seats through mid-decade gerrymandering, those are 2 red seats that Republicans could count in their favor nationally, especially as California weighs a ballot proposition to potentially redistrict there. So it really is critically important to control of the House. And of course, if you go back to 2018, Donald Trump lost the midterms in 2018, took a drubbing, and that opened him up to 2 years of investigations, of 2 impeachments, and he doesn't want that to happen again. So what happens in Indiana matters to him greatly.
Adam Wren of Politico, our guest, couple minutes left with him. He broke the story yesterday on Politico that the Republicans say they don't have the votes to go forward. Okay, let's say Braun calls the special session. What could Rod Bray do? It's clear he doesn't want this, and he has obviously a lot of power over that Republican caucus. What would his steps be? Is he just going to be like, all right, put it up for a vote? Or are there things he could do to prevent this from going forward?
Yeah, it's a great question, Rob. And we know that the White House said yesterday that they want to vote. They want a special session. They want the Senate Republicans to prove that they don't have the votes. That gives them a pressure valve to sort of increase pressure on holdout Republicans here. But look, if they come in and Todd Huston has the votes and the Senate doesn't, Rod Bray, like any other measure that he doesn't like in a legislative session, could just send this to rules, and it would never see the light of day again. Summer study committee, whatever he wants to do. And so really the rest of this process here, it all comes down to Rod Bray and whether he gives in to the external pressure.
Do you, we'll get you out of here with this. Is there any lawmaker you've talked to in Indiana, the House or Senate, that have said, I've just had a flood of people demand that we do this? Like, have they been able to produce emails or phone calls? Because even the people that are for it, we haven't found anybody who can show, man, my constituents in mass are just behind this.
There is some polling that the White House presented to state lawmakers when they were in town last, when the vice president was in town, that does show that it's getting more popular among the base the longer that they talk about it. And of course, that's part of the White House's plan here. The longer it goes, the more public support for it increases. But I actually have talked to the opposite number of senators privately who say they're only hearing about it from outside their districts, from outside Indiana. That they want more people outside of Indiana. And more people outside of Indiana want them to do this than people inside Indiana does. Look, and these, the opposition to it in the Senate Republican caucus runs the gamut. I mean, you've got some pretty hard MAGA folks. You've got some folks that people would describe outwardly as more rhino. It's more sort of an attitudinal opposition, I would say, than it is an ideological one.
Adam Wren of Politico, keep up the great work, and thanks for filling us in on what's going on perhaps behind the scenes with the redistricting effort. Appreciate you, my friend.
Good to be with you. Behave yourself if you can.
It's Kendall and Casey.
You hear that, Casey? Behave yourself
I know,
if you can.
Everybody tells you that. It's 93 WIBC.
Kendall and Casey.
My mom is still receiving Social Security from my father.
Legally?
Yeah.
I don't think they just give it to your family.
No, your spouse can still get it.
Really? I put if you pass away. You know what the next thing that came up?
Did it autofill?
Who gets your Social Security?
Okay, what's the answer?
The main beneficiaries are usually the surviving spouse, children, or dependents.
So I was right.
Eligibility?
Say it!
Maybe.
Oh, say I'm right.
Kendall and Casey, weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. If you're living with a chronic condition like diabetes, chronic heart failure, or a cardiovascular disorder, you might count on extra support with your health care too. That's why United Healthcare offers chronic special needs plans with extra benefits and a large provider network to choose from. Visit uhc.com/Medicare to find out if you qualify today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on. Provider network may vary in local market.
Are you ready to put joint pain behind you and get to a place where persistent pain doesn't control your life? The dedicated orthopedic experts at Community Health Network are here to turn those goals into a reality. With personalized treatment options that include robotic-assisted surgery, we'll help you feel your best so you can get back to enjoying your hobbies again. Learn more about your care options at ecommunity.com/ortho. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Replace old floors before the holidays with Drexel Interiors and get a free pad with qualifying purchase of new carpeting or luxury vinyl through November 15. Go to DrexelIN.com for details.
So, if you told somebody not to come to a thing they weren't going to anyway,
You're uninvited.
did you actually take a stand on the thing?
I
or-
think you did. Like, we don't want you here. Don't come.
But he wasn't coming anyway.
They were
if you
just
weren't going
letting
anyway.
him know, just in case it was in question.
So lots of news outlets, our news gathering partners at Wish TV, basically every outlet in the city, covering this letter from the leaders of Irvington telling Joe Hogsett not to attend the neighborhood's Halloween festival. Now, this is related to the Thomas Carl Cook saga. Of course, that was Joe Hogsett, the mayor of Indianapolis, his former right-hand guy, political architect. He was the deputy mayor, chief of staff, all sorts of things. And this guy is accused of just totally inappropriate behavior with subordinate women, amongst other things. And Hogsett is alleged to have, and there appears to be pretty strong evidence, Hogsett knew the stuff was going on and didn't do anything about it. And so they said apparently these leaders in Irvington allege that some of these women live in the Irvington area and they don't want Hogsett there. So they said, don't come.
Yeah, they say respect for the survivors of sexual assault and others who are affected. And the event draws about 80,000 visitors annually. But yeah, they're saying don't come. There's serious concerns. And I think that what this is this is starting a precedent. You know, this is the first group saying, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
And maybe others will follow.
Here's what the letter says. While we understand this is a public event and we cannot restrict your attendance, we urge you to consider the impact your presence may have. I've been getting this letter from community events for years,
Right,
Casey.
you got that about a Lincoln Day dinner. We understand we can't legally bar you from coming, but just don't.
But mine is because I'm just mean to politicians. Hogsett is for something totally different. But I've heard this verbiage before. At best, it would be a distraction. At worst, it would be re-traumatizing for members of our community.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they're saying, hey, you know what? Even if you were considering coming, just don't.
Now, this is
we don't want you here.
This is the mayor of the city, and in a largely Democrat area, he's just getting told kick rocks.
Right.
How do you effectively govern the city when like-minded people
Don't want you there.
don't even want you there?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like we're having a political disagreement. It's not like, hey, you did. It's like not you bought the old helipad property for the soccer stadium, and we just vehemently disagree with that. That's one thing. This is just like personal conduct. Your personal conduct is so egregious that we don't want you around. And I don't know how you effectively could come back from that, or you could effectively govern when that's these people's personal opinion of you.
Right. Like, what does Hogsett say? We were coming anyway, so meh.
Well, I think it is. And also the other side of it, though, is are you really that much of a tough guy if you're doing something you don't think he's going to be at anyway? Like, do we give credit to these people when I don't think it's not my understanding he doesn't have a long track record of attending said
Right, like
events.
has he gone in years past? As an annual thing, he always shows up. It's a big to do.
Right.
He's passing out candy.
And if you were actually
this year, we don't want it.
Concerned, a phone call probably could have taken care of it. I mean, they wanted the publicity. They wanted
Absolutely.
they wanted the smoke of sending
So they're
this letter
going
out.
on record, coming out against Hogsett.
Right.
Is what this is.
Sure, absolutely. That's
And
absolutely what it is.
the next step is for them to officially call for him to resign.
Well, but this is what it comes back to. The Thomas Carl Cook stuff is awful, and he clearly knew what that guy was. And again, it's not that Thomas Carl Cook was allegedly engaging in these relationships with these women. It's that Thomas Carl Cook was, as a government official, a high-ranking government official, basically the number 2 guy and the gatekeeper to the mayor of our state's capital, that he was allegedly, with strong evidence to back up the allegations, using that position to get subordinate women to do things that they appeared to be uncomfortable doing.
Well, you have to wonder, they mentioned others affected. They're from that area. Are they involved in this Halloween festival?
Well, you don't know. I mean, look, the reality is they're just doing this to big time the guy, which I'm fine with. Hogsett deserves to be totally big time. But what I was saying was the Thomas Carl Cook stuff is bad enough. But you still have a mayor who 5.5 years later, we have no idea where he went during the riots. He disappeared. He was not in charge of our city. No one has publicly stated where he was at. His excuses on where he was at have been totally debunked, including in debates. The lady who did the report on the riots came out. Mitch Daniels' sister, I think, was who did the report for the city on the riots, and said, Hogsett tried to say, well, the report says where I was. And she said, no, it doesn't. Nobody knows where Joe Hogsett was. It's a pattern of chaotic, erratic, irresponsible behavior that's been going on basically since the guy took office. And this is just the latest in a slew of things. And while this letter, gets some publicity, from the actual council itself, or the people have the ability to do something, by and large, it's just business as usual.
Yeah. Most people want to be invited to the party so they have the choice to say yes or no.
That's why I don't care about getting invited to the party, Casey. Oh, you're not inviting me. That means nothing to me because I didn't want to go anyway.
Right. They're coming out saying, we don't want you here, so don't plan on showing up. Okay, you sent me this story, and
Yes.
I thought of you.
Oh.
Nearly a quarter of American workers didn't take any of their vacation days this year.
Oh, you'll love this. And I'm sure you won't mind me telling. So remember our boss sent out the letter
Yeah.
that was like, hey, you got to start taking your vacation days because you can't take them all at the end of the year. And then I was like, well, my kid's off daycare for a bunch at the end of the year. I kind of need to take them at the end of the year. I'll just take them at the end of the year and see what happens. Calls me in. He goes, look, I have a David's so funny. He's so nice about everything. He goes, I think he said a procedural question or something for you. And and I said yes, because he goes, shut the door. I said, oh God, am I going down?
Oh,
It's not
no,
it's not
is this it?
Oh gosh, it's not even Thursday. You're supposed to fire me on a Thursday. He goes, hey, I thought I sent you guys an email telling you can't take all your days off at the end of the year. And I said, well, my kid's off daycare to blah blah blah, and whatever. But yeah, just every year. And then he starts like lobbying with me. And David is so nice about everything. He's like, well, you really like golf. Maybe you should start taking them during the major golf tournaments. You like instead of not working while you're on the clock.
Yeah.
I said, all right, I'll do it next year. I got to take them off this year, though, at the end of the year. But yes, I like my job. I don't like to have days off.
You're one of these 23% who don't take a single vacation day.
Isn't that a staggering statistic?
A quarter of workers don't take a single vacation day. Talk about burnout.
Yeah.
Take your days. That's what they're for.
I mean, and then, of course, I always do the thing. It's like, why don't they just pay me out for the days? And he's like, this is not a discussion, Rob. This is not a debate about corporate policy.
Right, because if they do that for you,
Well, that's what he
then
said.
they'd have to make exceptions for everybody else.
That's what he said.
Now, I, on the other hand, only have 2 vacation days left of the year. And I'm like, man.
Would you like to guess how many
Can
vacations?
I have some of your days?
I would gladly sell them to you. May I do that? May I sell you my days?
Well, they won't let you.
Well, I could ask. They didn't say anything about selling. They said I just couldn't get paid out by the company.
That's
Maybe I
true.
could sell them to you.
I'll buy them from you.
I'm going to go ask when we get off the air and see what they say. Maybe they will say that's okay. All right. So would you like to guess how many vacation days? Because I did the math. I had to go at them because they're in hours in our system. And I was like, I don't know how many hours that is. Would you like to guess how many vacation days I have left.
Now, is this with the week between Christmas and New Year off or without it?
No, like I'm saying right now.
Oh, right now?
No day, because I haven't technically taken any days off because nothing's been approved. Would you like to guess right now how many vacation days I have left in our system?
Well, I know that's 5 days. I know you're putting in for this coming Monday, so that's 6 days. You probably have another, 5 or 6 on top of that? I'm going to say 11 days.
Kev, would you like to guess how many? Price is Right rules, you go over, you lose. Would you like to guess how many vacation days I have as of today?
I'm going to guess 8 vacation days.
All right, you're going with 8. Casey's with 11.
11.
18.
Oh, my God. No way. 18? Really?
I'm 18.
Wow. You're okay. Now, Kevin ran into the problem where he took 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Like it was in February when you went to Ireland, right?
Yeah,
So
it was in June over the summer.
he's been like stretching out his days
Yeah.
to get to the end of the
I'll
year.
sell you some vacation days.
I
I'll
try
run
and
that
take
board.
a few here and there throughout the year.
Yeah.
I think
Now,
I have like 3 left.
Here's what people need to realize down the street from us. My hobby is making those people at the State House miserable. Don't tell our bosses this, but I would do this for no money. I get such joy out of ruining those people's day.
Now, I'm not going to hear any of that talk because then you'll set a precedent. Like, we're not paying any
So
of
why
you.
wouldn't I come to work?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I not come to work when my hobby, I get paid to do my hobby, and I get great joy in knowing, look, spite is a heck of a motivator, Casey, and spite is what gets me out of bed and in my car, which barely runs, by the way, but it gets me here each day, is to make those people at the Indiana State House as miserable as I possibly can.
Now, that's not one of the reasons listed here for why people don't take time off. 43% felt they had too much work to justify taking a vacation.
Oh, that's a horrible, yeah, that's bad.
30% worried about falling behind at work.
Yeah.
29% felt guilty or pressured to appear committed to their jobs. And then 25% said their manager would respond negatively.
Yeah,
to
unless
requests.
you just super enjoy your job and or like me, enjoy your job and are motivated by spiting your fellow man, then you got to take your days.
You have to take your days. They say the benefits of your PTO increase focus, creativity, and resilience, reduce risk of burnout, and improved mental well-being. Did you hear that?
This is we've been through this though. Every year I go do my physical, and every year they're like, "We cannot believe your blood pressure, like it's and heart rate and everything." And I tell them, and I have no scientific evidence to back this up, but just my understanding. I get it all out here 3 hours a day. Like I don't have any energy left to be angry about stuff when I go home. My ability to take my frustration out on the Indiana General Assembly and the governor and the clown statewide office holders and the senators. It makes me a good father because I just have nothing but calmness in my life.
Yeah,
It all gets out here.
You're getting all those negative emotions out with me and Kevin. We're so lucky. It's a different sort of energy. It's absorbing a different energy.
Do you want to buy my days?
How much? You owe me $1 for betting.
I do. I owe you $1.
So I'll pay you $1.
Oh,
per day.
These days are worth way more than $1.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
$1 per
discuss
day.
when we get off the air. See if we can do this.
All right. It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Hoping the situation will change in the coming weeks. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Indiana Governor Mike Braun still believes it's likely he'll call a special session so they can address redrawing the state's congressional maps.
Many people think that Republicans got to start fighting fire with fire, and I think that's the argument that's been sinking in among the senators that the White House has been talking to.
It was revealed on Wednesday that Senate Republicans did not have enough votes to call for a special session. Indiana University's Phi Kappa Psi fraternity is under investigation by campus police for a reported hazing incident. The frat has also been issued a cease and desist from the school. The National Weather Service says a freeze warning will go into effect late Thursday night into Friday morning for a large portion of northern and central Indiana as temperatures begin to dip this week. And 31 people, including NBA head coach Chauncey Billups and player Terry Rozier, are arrested as part of an FBI investigation into illegal gambling. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You get up early on snow days because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to thrive in the winter. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $5,250. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with a free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Everyone's talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like your neighbor Brett.
We did Galaxy for the sidewalks and also the porch. The porch had a few pits. Galaxy said that was no problem.
Home or business, Galaxy Concrete Coatings got you covered.
Obviously with the front sidewalk and step, so we didn't worry about any kind of slipping. You know, you're concerned about that after rain. And then when it did dry, it didn't spot, it didn't stain. It was just like it had been done yesterday.
Lots of styles to choose from, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
One thing that my wife commented on was how easy the Galaxy coating swept versus just the bare concrete.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
We moved here recently. I didn't even think twice about calling anyone else but Galaxy to come do this house.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's. 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 Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
My brother never checks on Dad. Or, my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Need to sell your home without the hassle? Sell your home to people you can trust. Call Simple Quarters, 317-900-HOME. Simple Quarters, sponsor of Fill Up in the News with Tony Katz.
Okay, so Florida is apparently pondering getting rid of property taxes. We did have a question in the YouTube chat, which you can watch the program on YouTube. Just put Kendall Casey into your little search bar there. Rob, what's the news on your Lincoln Day dinner? The news is that the people in charge of it are coming up with whatever we're going to do. For those of you who, I assume most people know, but the Republican Party in Hendricks County was very concerned that I was going to ask Diego Morales, the Indiana Secretary of State, totally corrupt, rotten, unethical person who paid for his mysterious 10-day trip to India. And then when he tried to BS me, I was going to call him out on it, and he was going to melt down like he did when I had the conversation with him in Clay County. In which
I paid for it.
I drove him so nuts that he finally started shouting at people while they were eating their chicken. I paid for India! India. People are like, what is this guy even talking about? And they absolutely didn't want that. They didn't want me asking Micah Beckwith, the lieutenant governor, how he ended up at the NBA Finals with a high-profile known felon. I could ask Diego about that, too. They didn't want me asking Craig Haggard, state rep, also running for Congress, why he lied to our audience. They just don't want a variety of questions getting asked. Rather than holding their elected officials accountable, they were nervous that I would do that and people would be watching me, and they don't want any sort of objection. So they banned me from the Lincoln Day dinner. And so then we started kicking around some ideas of what we could do, and people overwhelmingly said, you should have your own Lincoln Day dinner. So the answer to the question, it is my understanding we will be doing something early next year, and it's going to be a big old shindig, and WIBC is going to be behind it, and it's going to be really fun, and it'll sort of be like a Lincoln Day dinner if I were doing a Lincoln Day dinner.
Okay. Yeah, they have to do it next year because you have too many vacation days to plan it this year still.
Yeah. So there, I just wanted to touch base on that. Has not been forgotten about.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding it's going to be a ton of fun, and we'll give you more information once that becomes readily available. So what is Florida doing? They're trying to get rid of property taxes?
Well, Ron DeSantis, he's been full steam ahead on abolishing property taxes in Florida. And so what happened is they've had a series of different proposals making constitutional amendments to the Florida Constitution, and DeSantis is now calling that approach a political game because they're. Do you remember what happened here with the property tax talk?
Oh, I remember.
Didn't Braun come out with something that was pretty solid, pretty simple, and we agreed that was a good move?
Whoa. He came out with something that, this is the most Braun thing ever.
After you helped him along.
Yeah, because I was just saying, he came out with something that's solid, then he quickly changed his mind, then he's quickly changed his mind back to the thing that we had agreed to in the beginning, and then he lied to everybody and stabbed everybody in the back and didn't get anything close to what we had all agreed to.
And then the House got a hold of it, and it was all sorts of gobbledygook, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that's what Braun wanted. I'm convinced now, looking back on all of this, I mean, this is why when people are always like, Rob never offers anything positive. He's so negative, and he just talks about what he's against. Casey, did anyone try between the summer of 2024 and April of 25 to help Mike Braun and his little dweeb assistant Micah Beckwith harder than me? Did anybody try to help those two any harder than me? Did anybody do any more for those two guys than me?
No.
And what happened?
Gobbledygook.
They screwed everybody.
Gobbledygook.
Right?
Yeah.
What, the taxes went up, the government grew, the crony capitalism continued, they lied about property taxes, but yet there's still people out there now. This guy is just so negative. All he ever does is talk about what he's against. I can't believe he's so negative about everything.
Is that what they sound like in your head?
That is exactly what they sound like in my head because I see it on social media all the time. Like, what else could I have possibly done over the past
Try
year
to help them write a good property tax reform.
Had the rally, had the 1,000 people there, all of this stuff. And then I'm still supposed to, I guess, just get back on my horse and go, hey, it's okay, you guys stab me in the back and let me floating face down in the Monon. I'll just get myself back up and keep cheerleading for you guys. That's, I guess, what I'm supposed to do, Casey, because being negative about them, that makes me the bad guy.
Same thing is happening in Florida. However, Ron DeSantis says, no, we still need to abolish property taxes.
So we got to put it on the ballot, and the voters have to approve it. It's a constitutional issue in Florida. It's not something the state derives revenue for. It's a local issue. We're trying to focus on Florida homeowners and their primary resident. People that have Airbnbs or whatever, that's separate. Yeah. But your personal home, you shouldn't rent it from the government. You should own it. And, you're paying taxes for 50 years, but even for young families, it's become very difficult across this country to make ends meet. Wouldn't it be great if they were able to have home ownership without having the burden of property tax that? So that's coming to a ballot near you in November of 2026, and we need 60% of Florida voters to do it. And I think it's going to be very popular, but it's also something that's not an easy bar to reach when you have an election like that.
So we've got a special session that may or may not happen.
Oh, Casey. Braun's already said no property taxes. Braun's already said everybody's very happy with the property tax.
That's right.
You got to wonder if that delusional old grandpa actually believes that. Like, have they insulated him to the point where he walks around each day going, everyone is very happy with my property tax bill.
They like me.
No one is happy with your property tax bill. So is he just that much of a pathological liar, or at his advanced age has his memory and his mental faculties deteriorated to the point where Grandpa actually believes that everyone is very happy with the thing that everyone actually hates?
I think he thinks everybody really loves it. I'm going with that one. Yes,
Even he's not that out of it.
Yeah. You mean the guy who didn't know that BlackRock was buying AES, or that the vice president wasn't coming?
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Yeah. You're listening to Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy. Rob Kendall off the rails. Eddie White of the Pacers. And I'm sure we'll make Allison uncomfortable.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 317-660-0929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Willis Financial at 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals. Planning on inviting friends and family over sometime soon? Whether you're hosting the neighborhood cookout, a birthday celebration, or a football watch party, you know all about the hustle to get the house looking perfect. But there's one thing you can't fix on your own. The stuck windows and doors, drywall cracks, uneven floors, bugs, or mold and mildew smells. Things that stand out. Indiana Foundation Service knows that all of these signs point to major damage building up in your foundation, crawl space, or basement, and it'll only get worse over time. Don't worry. With a free foundation inspection from Indiana Foundation Service, the team's experts will identify your home's issue at the source. You'll want to get ahead of these problems sooner rather than later. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection with a no-obligation quote included. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
It's not just cancer care, it's the complete care you get at Hendricks.
And you can feel that spirit of excellence, trying to do what's best from a medical standpoint, but also trying to affect the patient and their family as you would a family member.
Hendricks Care is trying to meet the patient where they are. You know your body better than anyone else.
Do the cancer screening early.
An ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure.
Learn about health screenings at hendricks.org/cancer.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce.
If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tony Katz to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
Snap it. Send it. Hear it. Your photos, your video, your voice on WIBC. Join the text club by texting WIBC to 317-239-9393.
Casey?
Yes, Rob.
You're telling me the computer is wrong a lot of the time.
Well, I'm telling you that AI assistants like ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, also Microsoft's Copilot, they're incorrect some of the times. A new study came out, and they studied 22 public service media organizations, and they found out that AI misrepresents news content 45% of the time, so almost half.
Wow, that's pretty sizable.
Yeah, it is.
Now, my wife is knowledgeable on these things because she's in the cybersecurity field, and she has said from the beginning, and this has been, it's been 3 years, sort of this stuff has been uber prominent, right? That the problem with AI is it's stupid, but then the other side of this is eventually, the bigger problem is it eventually will get smart. And so, like, it is a thing where every day it gets smarter. It is a movie come to life. And so while we would look at that now and go, there, silly computer. Well, in 2 years, it won't be 45%.
There are some examples of things that it gets factually wrong. And I've noticed many times that it still caused Donald Trump, former President Trump.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, like, when is it going to learn? Like, what is the curve? How long does it take?
Well, it could be biased, though, because all it is it's a what are we talking about here? Like
an aggregate?
Well, you're right. Thank you. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Of all this information, then it forms opinions based on this. Like, somebody did this. I don't know if you saw this. Somebody the other day, I guess Facebook has a chat GPT.
Of course it does.
And they put me into.
Oh yes, you're in the metafiles now.
Yes, I'm in the metafiles. That sounds very scary.
Yeah.
But yes, and you saw.
But it did describe you pretty accurately.
Pretty much spot on, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not some super famous person, right? I'm a somewhat known quantity in a major Midwest city, but it's not like if you dropped me into San Francisco, anybody would know who I am.
Big fish, small pond.
And they had it pretty spot on.
Yeah, they did. But how long do you think it took for AI to learn who you were?
I don't know.
Or
it's
was
kind
somebody
of scary.
Right? Was somebody copying and pasting your information in there and telling it, "Hey, learn about this guy," and they get it once, AI has it once, and then it has it that way going forward?
I don't know. Here's the other thing that kind of scares me. I told you about that little robot that we got as a gift, the sweeper robot.
Yeah. The Roomba.
Yeah, whatever it is. And by the way, I saw the price on it. It was the very low-end one, which is fine. And it's a very nice thing. It does the job. Like, you turn I'm sure most people know what I'm talking about here, but they have these robots.
Yeah,
and
it's a little round saucer that sweeps.
Yeah, it just goes around and it sweeps your floors. And I asked my wife, I said, how does it know?
How does it know?
And she just looked at me and laughed and goes, "It's learning."
Okay.
And it literally
Kinda like
learns
AI.
the floor plan of your house, for lack of a better term. And so
it's learning where Livy drops her Cheerios the most.
It takes a while, but it will learn where to go. Not that it knows, like, where you're at. It just, it programs itself. And I just don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll know. She'll come home and she'll go, "You didn't use the robot, did you?" Said, "No, it scares me."
Because it's learning.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but here's the thing. So it's 45% now, but I bet within 2 or 3 years it'll be 30%.
Right.
It's just going to keep getting smarter.
It'll just keep going down.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so I have a new hobby.
Okay.
And you can either tell me this is a fun, interesting hobby, or you're a weirdo. Stop.
Or I'm very concerned about you.
So, obviously, with a 2-year-old, I have limited time and ability to, have hobbies.
Sure.
So you have to sort of make new hobbies.
Right.
And they have to be hobbies, basically, that I can do from 9 p.m. on.
Okay. Right, after she's in bed.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're very limited.
Mhm.
There's no more, like your husband and I went out and Ben Verbanek, the most beautiful man in television. We had a rare evening out last Saturday watching the Notre Dame game. But that is
it was Sports Center.
Yeah,
sure.
very rare, right?
Right.
It doesn't happen during the week.
Mm-hmm.
So my new hobby, it has to basically be something I can do at my house, is our court system has this very fabulous transparency portal. It's called My Case, mycase.in.gov. And
are you looking people up?
Well, right. I like people. I'm just picking random people, like obscure people, like from my past, or I went to school
And you're
with.
searching them?
Not because I think they've done some heinous crime against humanity, or
You just want to read about their divorce decree?
I just want to see what's in my case on these people, and it's like a new version of a YouTube rabbit hole. You can just spend hours branching off of random obscure people and learning all about their past.
You're not the first person I've known to do this.
Oh, really?
Actually, my former boss used to do this, and he would specifically look up people's divorce announcements to find out.
Was he looking to get back in the game?
No, I think he just wanted to know who got what or what was said. So, no, you're not the only one with this hobby.
Okay, and
you could either build a community around it or a support group.
And I'm not doing anything nefarious. I'm not trying to, message the person and go, "Oh, so you had a judgment against you in 2017." No,
What's that all about? Say more words.
What am I really supposed to do with my time? I've got about a 2-hour window here. And I don't know that. I will run this by Casey. If she says this is so heinous, you have to stop immediately, then I would. But you're saying it's fine.
I think it's fine, but I hope eventually you run out of people. You don't know enough people that are in the system, because you are the company you keep, Rob.
Well,
and that would kind of make me concerned about you.
Here's what I know.
In your past relationships.
I'm at the 5,000 friend limit on Facebook. I think I'm about 800 people in.
What are you looking up everybody who's a friend on Facebook?
I don't have to explain myself to you.
Oh, you are. I know you did that to me before I started working here with you.
Idiot not to.
You researched and Googled me, didn't you?
What if you were posted in several post offices across the country?
You want to know, don't you?
Some sort of heinous crime against.
You don't think that our boss vetted me just as well, or Urban One just as well as you would have?
Well, I'll tell you what I actually did. I don't know if I've ever told you this.
I don't think you have.
Well, I did look you up.
What did you do?
Well, it took me a while to look you up. I had to figure some things out. I think you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And then I put Gabrielle on you.
Oh no!
So you cleared her.
She found nothing nefarious.
No, nothing nefarious. She had found some things that were interesting, but nothing nefarious.
Really? All right. Well, we got to finish the segment so you can tell me what the interesting things were. I want to know. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Have a good day.
Of all the times to buy new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus, get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
Every day, you're giving yourself to others. Whether it's soccer practice, work demands, or meal planning for the fam, life just keeps going. But an extraordinary life is the one you keep loving and living. 1 in 8 women will face breast cancer in her lifetime. Age 40 or older? Visit franciscanhealth.org/breastcare to schedule your mammogram online. And don't let the ordinary get in the way of your extraordinary life.
Central Indiana knows tough, but your water shouldn't be. Indiana ranks among the hardest water in the country, and your home is paying the price. Connecticut's non-electric technology means no timer, settings, or headaches. Just water that works, even when the power doesn't. And the twin tank design means clean, soft water 24/7. Connecticut water softeners are the solution, made in the U.S. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com and mention Made in the U.S. for an additional $250 off your purchase of a softener. Connecticut, American-made, Midwest tough.
Hi, this is Chris Cox, owner of Chimney Solutions, Indiana. We're celebrating our 10th year in business. Call this month to take advantage of 10% off all chimney sweeps and inspections. We're also celebrating the opening of our new fireplace showroom on 86th Street and Lafayette Road. Come and experience our exclusive lines of wood-burning and gas fireplaces.
Call 317-757-6979 or chimneyindy.com.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or drexelin.com today.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
This is an illegal gambling operation.
That's what we're going to try to do, is put together a multi-year plan.
I'm always going to vote to pay our military.
Our guys understand everything.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Gambling trouble in the NBA. Mostly sunny and 49 degrees in downtown Indy. More on your forecast in a moment. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. It's brought an investigation by the FBI. FBI Director Kash Patel explained the scope of it this morning.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing.
Portland Trailblazer head coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers coach Damon Jones have all been arrested.
The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country.
Patel says this could all tie in to members of the La Cosa Nostra crime families. Rozier's attorney says his arrest is a photo op for the FBI. Leaders in Irvington have asked Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett to not attend the neighborhood's Halloween festival out of respect for sexual harassment survivors. The historic Irvington Community Council sent a letter detailing that request to the mayor's office on Wednesday. It claims that survivors of incidents involving Hogsett's former chief of staff, Thomas Cook, live in Irvington, and they're concerned about Hogsett's appearance. At least 3 3 women accused Cook of sexual misconduct while he worked for the mayor, and critics also say that Hogsett continued to employ Cook despite the accusations. Indianapolis police officers are calling for a new facility and upgraded equipment, a key takeaway from the first phase of IMPD's 5-year strategic plan. Built with input from both officers and the public, the plan is supposed to improve on public safety and guide department operations.
That's what we're going to try to do, is put together a multi-year plan that deals specifically with infrastructure and equipment, or facilities specifically, because we hear that often from our officers and professional staff. We'll work with the mayor's office and council to try to find a path forward.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says about 1,200 officers took the survey, along with input from community members. The big takeaway was that many of the people who responded don't fully trust the police. Senate Republicans are taking a test vote today on paying essential federal workers who have been on the job during the shutdown, worked without a paycheck. Fox's Chad Pergram reports.
It's a dare by Senate Republicans. The GOP wants Democrats to either pay essential workers or make them keep working without a paycheck. Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman previously voted with the GOP to fund the government.
I'm a country over party guy. I'm always going to vote to pay our military over the party. If I pay a price within my base, that's something I'm willing to do.
Fetterman is one of 3 senators who caucuses with the Democrats who voted to open the government.
The administration has moved around money to pay the military and process farm loans, but there are limits on what the administration can do without help from Congress. What kind of upcoming weather you can expect, and an event that aims to help Hoosiers. Those stories and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, sanctions on Russian oil, and my gosh, is there a redistricting fight going on in America? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Well, Tony, Indiana Governor Mike Braun believes it is still likely that he'll call a special session so lawmakers can look at redistricting. Jarrett Lewis reports.
Indiana Senate Republicans say they don't have the votes yet to move forward with a special session in order to discuss redistricting. That was announced on Wednesday. Governor Braun told the Hammer and Nigel show on WIBC a few hours after that announcement that there's still time to get Indiana Republicans on board.
We're closer to getting there. All along I said the legislature is going to have to think about it. They're going to get persuaded.
The persuasion has come from the White House. The governor and GOP leaders have met with Vice President Vance twice and have spoke with President Trump over the phone. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may have felt the chill this morning, and that's not going anywhere Friday. Ryan Hedrick reports.
A freeze warning early Friday covers the entire state as temperatures dip to 32 degrees or below.
It does look like some outlying rural areas, especially in the Wabash River Valley, could potentially get into the upper 20s as well.
Forecaster Cody Moore at the National Weather Service Indianapolis says freeze warnings go out when temps are expected to hit 32 degrees or lower, and they stay long enough to damage plants and crops. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An event happening next month focuses on Hoosiers who are trying to get their life back. Johnette Cruz reports.
If a criminal record is stopping you from finding better worker housing, there's help available in Fort Wayne next month. Expungement attorney Heidi Fowler talks more in detail on who may qualify.
It really runs the gamut. We get things from very low-level misdemeanors where a person maybe went through drug interdiction court and had their case completely dropped. They just want it off of their criminal record, all the way up to very old, long-term sentence felony offenses.
The Second Chance Initiative is hosting a free event on Tuesday, November 4th at Ivy Tech Community College to explain Indiana's expungement law. The presentation starts at 6 p.m. and it's a required step to get assistance and is open to anyone in the state. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The NBA season begins tonight for the Indiana Pacers against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle said Wednesday that playing the Thunder in their opener will be a challenge.
Our guys understand everything. Most of them watched last night's game. It's a team coming in that was great last year. They're great throughout the year. We just got to play.
The Thunder, you might remember, beat the Pacers in last year's NBA Finals. Tip-off tonight at 7:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Live from the heartland and the crossroads of America, it's Tony Katz Today.
It's possible in my life in New Jersey that I may have met a guy. I may have met a guy, and maybe I didn't meet the guy. I don't know if I met the guy. I'm not sure I met the guy. I don't know where I was when I met the guy. I don't know what I talked about with the guy. But there's a possibility that there was a guy, and I was there, and he was there, and he was there, and I was there, and I met a guy. I don't want to have to describe who the guy is or what the guy did. I don't remember what the guy looked like. I don't remember what the guy sounded like. I don't know what he smelled like. I don't even remember if I heard his name. But I talked to him. I don't know what we talked about. I don't remember anything. I need a lawyer. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Why do I bring up the guy? Never once did I start a gambling ring with the mafia. Holy crap, this NBA story is out of control. It's unbelievable. And I've got audio and stuff from the press conference. Chauncey Billups, coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, other players utilizing card games where the cards were being tracked. Like producer Landon, I don't know if you caught that part of the story. That's nuts. They were tracking the cards, and they were scamming these people out of, what was the number, 7 million?
That I don't know yet, but the whole story is insane.
It's so surreal. It is so out of movie. Even the FBI was like, this is totally out of a movie. It's totally out of a movie. There's no way this is real. Who could have thought this was going to work out well for anybody? But I'll dig more into it. I must say that this is the wrong conversation. The conversation before us is who knew what, when, where, why, and how, and who looked the other way. That's the question. Who looked the other way on gambling in the NBA? Because one of the questions is going to be, did the NBA look the other way? What? Is there any question that it's possible that people knew all sorts of stuff was happening? Now, maybe they didn't know this. I am not arguing that the NBA had any knowledge of Chauncey Billups, other players. There's a mafia component. There's a cartel component. They're running satellites and checking on cards. No. But gambling in the NBA is well known. Gambling is well known. Are we going to question whether or not the NBA doesn't understand that people who make this much money and are this hyper-competitive don't bet? Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley brag about it all the time. Kobe bragged about it all the time. So the question is going to be what other gambling is actually taking place. What's the condoned stuff? Oh, you think it's just the NBA? Hey, NFL, how you doing? Major League Baseball? I don't know. Hockey? Do you guys gamble in hockey? Do you gamble how many teeth you'll have at the end of the match? By the way, I called it a match. So much what I know about hockey. Good gosh. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that if you are Roger Goodell or you are Adam Silver, right? I don't know who runs Major League Baseball today. I don't know who the commissioner is. You are spending your day on this. Because if this can happen in the NBA, it can happen anywhere. By the way, we have now the full list of everybody who was indicted. I don't know every name on here, Producer Landon. There's a guy on here who's known as Spanish G. Nelson Alvarez, also known as Spanish G. which is terrible because that was the name of my rap name. I was about to go, get that copyrighted, but now that's over. That's all over. Do any of these names jump out at you?
None of these really jump out at me now.
Okay. The one that jumps out is Chauncey Billups. There's a guy on here named Tony Goodson, also known as Black Tony. There's my other rap name. It's really a problem. This list. Oh, it goes on. Oh, there's more. There's more. Good Lord. So, yeah, I don't know all these people. We might find that there are connections, all sorts of them. And there's one indictment, Sophia Way, also known as Pookie. Yet another rap name shot to hell. The story is unbelievable. The story is going to be the talk of the town. And the real story is, if this is the gambling that's beyond the pale, and this story seems nuts, what's the gambling that these leagues allow? And should they? Oh, can of worms opened. Tony Katz, 93 WI. Oh, I was about to say my morning show. Look at me. Oops. This is Tony Katz today.
The shutdown is into its 23rd day this morning.
93 WIBC.
Breaking ranks with his party.
It didn't feel right, so I canceled it.
What happens next?
There's still time to get Indiana Republicans on board.
Happens here.
They're going to get persuaded.
This hasn't happened at the Vatican in more than 500 years.
93 WIBC.
It's very early, but I do think that we've made a lot of progress.
Another update is just minutes away.
Pacers tip off their season tonight. Coverage on 107.5 The Fan.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-929. That's 317-660-929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Wells Financial at 317-660-929. That's 660-929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wells Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. If you're living with a chronic condition like diabetes, chronic heart failure, or a cardiovascular disorder, you might count on extra support with your health care too. That's why United Healthcare offers chronic special needs plans with extra benefits and a large provider network to choose from. Visit uhc.com/Medicare to find out if you qualify today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on. Provider network may vary in local market.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
I was going to play this video clip for you, but the audio is not working for me. Might be working for you, but it's not working for me. Oh, that's too bad, because this is immigration attorney, Meg McCarthy. And Meg McCarthy wants you to know that the United States under Donald Trump is just like Chile under Augusto Pinochet. Because, as we all know, they're one and the same. Pinochet, who ran Chile between the people he killed, the people he tortured and imprisoned for political reasons, numbered over 40,000. And the only thing Donald Trump ever killed was Hillary Clinton presidential aspirations. That's it. These people don't stop. They don't rest. They don't quit. There's never a moment where they speak in a rational tone about things we can all discuss. It is about being completely irrational in every way. Irrational is Hakeem Jeffries. You know, the shutdown is still going on, and I know that most of you are very upset about it. Just the one? Okay. So Hakeem Jeffries is on CNN. Well, where else is he going to go? And Hakeem Jeffries is responding to the commentary of the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
No, we're not going to allow Chuck Schumer to play selfish political games and hold the American people hostage. We will not negotiate with legislative terrorists. We're not going to let them do that. We can't. We owe it to the people to get this government operating again. Republicans have now voted 12 or 13 times, counting the House and Senate, 13 times to open the government, and the Democrats have voted 13 times to close it down.
So the term you just heard was legislative terrorists. Hakeem Jeffries takes great umbrage with this. Massive umbrage with this term. How dare you refer to Democrats as terrorists? That's not what he did. He referred to the act as legislative terrorism, to which Wolf Blitzer asks him about it.
FBI U.S. Attorney news conference in your home state of New York about this federal gambling and sports rigging probe involving the New York Mafia that led to the arrests of Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups. What
everybody's talking about, they can't get away from it. It's not actually the commentary I wanted to hear from him. I'm looking for the clip that I have that has him all upset and outraged. Outraged he is that Mike Johnson could speak in such a way.
particularly those who follow the NBA closely.
Yeah, well said indeed. All right, as you know, House Republicans, including the Speaker, they passed what they say is a clean short-term funding bill, a CR, continuing resolution, but most congressional Democrats have refused to support it. I know you and other Democrats want to address the Affordable Care Act subsidies set to expire at the end of the year. You want to make sure that doesn't happen. But why not vote to fund the government right now and then negotiate in the coming weeks on the subsidies once the government is open and people are working, they're getting paid, and all of that?
We want to reopen the government, and we want to do that immediately. We want to find a bipartisan path forward toward a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people.
No. What you want is the Republicans to do exactly what you want to do. No, that's a lie. Bipartisan is extend the Obamacare subsidies that you voted to sunset. And you're willing to hold, in the political vernacular, the country hostage to get your way. I think Mike Johnson's commentary was fine. You want to argue that it's just, ratcheting up the rhetoric. Democrats want to argue that?
We will continue to stand by hardworking federal employees who've been targeted by this administration from the very beginning of Donald Trump's presidency. In fact, Wolf, more than 200,000 federal employees have been run out of their jobs prior to the start of this Trump government shutdown.
First things first, Trump government shutdown. Not Republican government shutdown, Trump government shutdown. He's so predictable. Secondly, we have removed 200,000 people from the employment rolls of the federal government, and we're still here. Good. I think that's great. I guess those people weren't necessary, Representative Jeffries. If they weren't necessary, we didn't have to have them. We do not owe them jobs. I don't think necessarily that they're bad people. I don't know them as individuals. I wouldn't be able to make the call on whether they're good people or bad people. But as the people who fund the government, if there's 200,000 jobs we don't have to fund and everything keeps on moving, we're better off. That is a smarter use of taxpayer funds, not having these people paid.
But at the same period of time, we do need to decisively address the Republican health care crisis that is devastating the American people in so many different ways.
Anybody devastated? No, I want you to call in if you're devastated. 833-468-8669, 833-GOT-TONY. Tony at TonyKatz.com, Twitter X at Tony Katz, Facebook Tony Katz Radio. The chat room, if you're following the live stream, they're on YouTube, youtube.com/Tony Katz. Devastated regarding subsidies that sunset that you voted for. Devastated. There's no shame. There's no shame in someone like Hakeem Jeffries. There's no shame in this progressive leadership. They don't care that they gaslight or lie to you. I assume they're thrilled by the opportunity.
All across the country, including in rural America. And one of the things that we need to do with urgency is to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
You heard the Speaker suggest you guys, the Democrats, are acting like terrorists, holding the American people hostage right now in order to get what you want. You want to just quickly respond to that?
Well, that type of language is reckless, it's irresponsible, and it's going to get someone killed.
Now, Leader Jeffries, I want you to know that the rhetoric has led to people getting killed. Called Charlie Kirk a racist. Okay, it maybe wasn't you, but it was your party. You called him a sexist. You called him a villain. You said President Trump was anti-American. You said President Trump was a threat to democracy, and you still say it. You and your party, again and again and over. And they took a shot at Donald Trump, and they took a shot at Charlie Kirk, and Donald Trump is alive, luckily. And Charlie Kirk was killed. Now you're concerned? Now. It's not that I don't think you should be concerned. It's that I think you should be concerned all the way across the board. And if we're going to agree that certain language is indeed verboten, well, then start by saying we don't do that here and say it to the people of Antifa and do it now. Say it to the members of Congress like Tlaib and Omar and Ocasio-Cortez, and do it now. Say it to the entire staff of MSNBC or MS Now, whatever the bloody hell they call themselves, and do it now. Speaker Mike Johnson, he's the one ratcheting up the rhetoric. It's indecent. You're indecent, Leader Jeffries, and you're okay with it. We're going to get to the story. You know, there's a lot of talk about redistricting. A lot happened yesterday, and there are a lot of influencers out there who are a bunch of punks. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're saying. They just try to incite a riot so they can get some clicks. I mean, people I don't necessarily pay attention to, but I've never really discussed the influencer. People are like, Tony, you're an influencer. I'm a radio host. I think there's a large chasm of difference, and you can call in and you can disagree with me. But the redistricting idea, you know what you hear? The response? My gosh, these fascists, they're just like the Nazis. They're just authoritarians trying to take control. There is a Democrat candidate for Senate in Maine who literally has a Nazi tattoo on his belly. That guy, not a Nazi, but engaging in something that is lawful, the redistricting of a state, which legislatures have the right to do, that makes a Nazi. These people are unserious, and they should be called unserious. We should say they're unserious. We should laugh at them, and certainly we should make sure that Hakeem Jeffries never, ever gets to win an election again.
What do these folks not understand as it relates to the language that they continue to use? We should be able to battle it out in the contest of ideas, as opposed to trying to use these extreme terms that have been unleashed on the American people from the very beginning of this presidency, and matter of fact, for a long period of time by the current president and those sycophants who continue to do nothing more than rubber stamp his extreme agenda and hurt the American people. These are folks in the House, in terms of the Republicans, they've been on vacation for the last 4 weeks. They have actually canceled votes 4 consecutive weeks in.
We don't need to hear any more about you complaining about losing the fight on the shutdown. The only people who engage in rhetoric are those on the political right. You heard it from the leader himself. So if you're wondering, hey, Tony, when do things get better? First step in fixing a problem is admitting you have one. The left doesn't do that. The left doesn't do that, and they demand that the right follow some kind of rules that they won't follow. And what has happened is that the right won't follow those rules anymore. And the left, I mean, that's the story of Trump. It's about not following those rules anymore. And the left has not figured out a way. They tried everything. They couldn't stop them, and now they don't know what to do. But if you won't admit the rhetoric coming from inside the House, the calls for a lone wolf, the rampant anti-Semitism coming from the left side of the aisle, if you won't admit to it, of course nothing gets better. This is Hakeem Jeffries on CNN saying, why are you looking at me? Well, it's because you and your party caused a shutdown and engage a lot of rhetoric. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What the FBI announced today. I'm Jeanette Cruz. Here's what's trending at 12:30. Portland Trailblazer head coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers coach Damon Jones have been arrested as part of a gambling probe. FBI Director Kash Patel speaks.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case.
A former Chicago gang leader who was pardoned by President Trump is now asking Governor J.B. Pritzker Pritzker for clemency.
He once led Chicago's gangster disciples. He's now asking Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for a commutation. His attorneys arguing that Hoover is now 74 years old with health issues.
AAA Hoosier and the Indianapolis Indians are presenting Riley Children's Foundation with a $35,000 donation today. The money raised during Childhood Cancer Month will go directly towards childhood cancer research. I'm Johnette Cruz on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name, and the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early
Hey, this is Rob.
termination.
And this is Casey. The
Apply.
national debt
Details.
tops $38 trillion.
It was just $36 trillion in January. Join us Friday, 9 to noon on 93 WIBC.
Well, this is step one. The president and Congress has talked multiple times what the next step might be. We have been we've been in briefings. We've been in classified settings. This is literally the first step to put more pressure on Russia if we need to. I believe we probably will. I don't think Putin is someone that's going to pay attention the first time his hand is slapped. I think you're going to see this get ratcheted up farther and farther to the point to where either we're going to bring them to their knees economically, or they're going to decide that fighting in Ukraine isn't worth it. At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing us give the accessibility to new weapons for Europe to buy for Ukraine to be able to fight against Russia and their aggression in Ukraine. As I said, Jake, this is just the first step, but this is the first step of a lot of options we have on the table.
This is about sanctions on oil. This coming from the Trump administration yesterday via the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. The move is to go up against the Kremlin war machine. That's what Scott Bessent referred to it as. The Kremlin war machine. And in the words of Scott Bessent himself, let me see if I can get that to you.
Validity to it, and I wondered if you wanted to comment. I know you're meeting with the Chinese very soon.
Yeah, so, Larry, good to be back with you. I'm leaving this evening. Jameson Greer's already on his way to Kuala Lumpur. And in Malaysia, on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be meeting with our Chinese counterpart, the Vice Premier Hu Liefang. And you just talked about some of the potential export controls we may put on, but the Chinese announced on October 8th this wide-ranging export controls on rare earth magnets, just on rare earths, all over the world. This is China versus the globe. It's not just on the U.S. And I can tell you that this licensing regime that they proposed is unworkable and unacceptable.
I'm not saying no, but I want to talk about Russian oil there, Mr. Secretary, so I'll get back to you on that. What happened here? Trump meets with Vladimir Putin in Anchorage. Seems to be a lovely meeting. Everybody seems to be in agreement. Trump then gathers some world leaders at the White House, and there's Keir Starmer, the UK, and there's Giorgia Meloni of Italy sneaking a cigarette, and Finland showed up. Hans, is it Stuber? I forget his last name. Not Gruber. That's the guy from Die Hard. And so he shows up, and everybody's there, and they're like, what's the deal? And Trump's like, well, kinda. And they're like, oh, we've been down this road, Mr. President. And the president's like, yeah, I know. They thought they had something. They thought there was actually some level of movement. There wasn't. This led to more drone attacks. This led to the Russians showing their incapability of actually running a military by having this drone incursion into Poland, which got the Poles all sorts of worked up. They put out an Article 4 notification of, hey, get ready. That leads to an Article 5, which is an attack on one, is an attack on all. This is a NATO conversation. The Russians keep hitting these Ukrainian spots. Ukraine has been unbelievably effective in hitting these areas of Russia, specifically refineries. Trump tried like the Dickens to get Ukraine to be, okay, you're going to give up this land, you're going to give up that land, you're going to give up the other land. And there was really, I think, a moment where Ukraine was going to give up those parts of the Donbass, Donetsk and Luhansk, that part of Zaporizhia. And they were going to have this massive line of Ukrainian territory down to Crimea, which they already control. And then Putin said, yeah, I don't need you. I'll do what I want to do. I ain't interested in you, Trump. I ain't interested. I'm just not that into you. I lied to you. I played you. Now, the one thing that we said here is that no one should trust Vladimir Putin. But never once did I think that Trump was going into this somehow blindly, and when a deal doesn't work, he's going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I couldn't trust Vladimir. We're such good friends. I mean, he texts me every night, and we're part of the Taylor Swift fan club. Shh, don't tell. And it's just so awesome, and we share our most innermost secrets. Never once did anybody think that. You understand Trump for who he is. Trump is, we're going to try this thing. Well, this thing didn't work? Damn. All right, we're going to try that thing. And that thing is saying, Volodymyr Zelensky, my guy, come over here, you crazy nut. Yeah, you don't need to wear a suit. Suits are for suckers. You get over here. Let me tell you, you're the best. Oh, you are, and you are funny. You're gonna go back to being a comic after this is all said and done. You are a funny guy. That's what you are. You know, J.D. Vance, he was wrong to ever challenge you in the Oval Office. Wrong. But I've always been with you. And you know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do to Vladimir? We're gonna mess his stuff right up. We're going to mess it. We're going to go pow, ping. It's going to be like Goodfellas Part 2. Ping, pow, pang. We're going to put him in the trunk. What do you want, Henry? The leg of the wing. And we're going to take care of business. You and me, Vladimir. Hot diggity dog. And that's what's happened. What's happened is, if you understand Donald Trump at all, for just a moment, that Trump looked at the situation and said, Putin won't be reasonable. Okay. We'll go the other way. Maybe now he'll be reasonable. We put the pressure on Ukraine. It seemed to work. Putin didn't want it. Now we'll put the pressure on Putin. What's the pressure on Putin? Well, let's start with the allowing of, or I should say the lifting of restrictions on missiles, specifically something made in the UK. This is the Storm Shadow missile. It can travel 180 miles. It can't travel from Kyiv to Moscow. But if it was on the northern border, maybe a little bit into Russian territory, it could probably do some damage. Hit a Russian rocket fuel, an explosives plant in a place called Bryansk. Yeah, that could be a successful hit. Probably take out some more refineries. Probably take out some oil fields or pipelines. From distance, you don't have to get too close. President Trump is still considering the utilization of Tomahawk missiles. He has said that he has withdrawn that, but you never know. It's on the table. It's off the table. Oh, it's back on the table. Okay, I'll pull it off the table. Oh, came over here. That's how he works. That's how he operates. It's who he is. And he has said, there's no reason why Ukraine can't get their land back. A month earlier, he was convincing Ukraine to give up the land to get the peace. Now, Ukraine can get the land back. Why not? It's Trump 101. Putin doesn't want to come to the table. Okay, we'll make life more difficult. We'll get him to come to the table one way or another. We'll just do it. Now, I think there's an interesting part of this conversation about the United States is not providing hardware to Ukraine as much as they are selling hardware to NATO, and NATO is then moving things to Ukraine. But the sanction of Russian oil, as we see it, is a very, very large deal. Canceling of the meeting with President Putin, Trump saying, quote, it didn't feel right to him. It didn't feel like we were going to get to the place we had to get, so I canceled it, but we'll do it in the future. Again, more standard, typical Trump, and I'm not saying that as a negative. This is how the man operates. It's about understanding how he works. So the question is, can any of this pressure work? It certainly is understood. I should note that the sanctions block subsidiaries tied to a series of energy companies, the two largest oil companies. It isolates them, trying to isolate the Russian economy, impacting their ability to raise revenue. It was oil that Reagan used to take out Gorbachev and the Russians. By driving oil prices down, as we've discussed, the only sensible thing that the late Senator John McCain may have ever said is that Russia is a gas station masquerading as a country. That's accurate. So by pushing oil prices down, Russia was not able to compete economically, and that was the ball game. I don't know. Putin is not dumb. He's certainly a student of history. He's got to be aware that this strategy can be used and utilized when talking about someone like Trump who's completely willing to do it. But I have seen nothing within Putin that shows that he has any interest in stopping. I haven't seen a thing that says he's going to somehow come to the table and say, fine. So I'm not sure if this works. I'm not objecting to the strategy. I'm just saying I'm not sure if it works because nothing seems to look like Putin is looking for a way out. There have been a lot of conversations about him looking for an off-ramp in this war because he knows he can't necessarily, quote-unquote, win it. It's a level of stalemate, especially if NATO gets more involved. He can keep throwing bodies at it, but eventually people stop seeing their kids returning in bags and boxes. All politics are local. It hasn't changed. But there's nothing that says yet that he's going to stop anytime soon. I don't know if this works. But degrading their capacity to profit from oil, this goes back to the conversation yesterday where Trump said of Indian Prime Minister Modi that he's going to stop buying Russian oil. I have not seen that. But if Modi and India stop buying Russian oil, that's a big deal. That's a big hit. So a lot of pieces at play here. We won't know for a little while if any of it's going to work. It'd be nice to see peace in the region. But I do not know how one gets peace with Vladimir Putin. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today.
Holy cow! Another beautiful play for Indiana. A new coach, a new team, a new energy in Bloomington.
You're going to see a bunch of guys that are all about winning. They play incredibly hard.
Coach Darren DeVries is ready to write the next chapter in Hoosier basketball.
We love what I think the fans are going to be able to see in terms of how we approach every game.
IU basketball is back, and it starts now against Baylor Sunday at 1 on the home of the Hoosiers, 93 WIBC.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Football is back, and so are great hairlines. We Grow Hair India has helped former local professional football players get back in the game with full natural